Terrific interview, Corny Sweet-McCurk, with Serena Wiegmann, getting a lot out of her, actually. If you look at England's results, the games and results since the World Cup final, which they lost to Spain 1-0 down under, those results and performances have been a bit crazy. Tash, I'm just going to go through them. Twice they've lost 3-2 to Belgium, England. 2-0 down at half-time against the Dutch at Wembley. Earps with a big error in that game, turned it around to win 3-2. I hosted a midweek Talksport show from Coventry when they struggled to beat South Africa 2-1 last October. Should be hammering sides like that. 3 down at Wembley inside half an hour against Germany. Lost 4-3 eventually. A couple of Hannah Hampton errors in that one. 0-0 at home to the USA is good. Beat Spain 1-0, then lost 2-1 to Spain last month. Held in Portugal, then 2 months later beat them 6-0. Struggled past Ireland, Scotland, Switzerland. Also in the last 18 months or so, they've racked up scores of 5, 6 and 7 in games. And just over a year ago, and significant for tonight, they led but lost at home to France at Newcastle. Then a few days later in St Etienne, Stanway and Rousseau scored to beat France 2-1. Hampton making a world-class save to preserve the lead in that game. So in the first of those meetings with the French, Mary Earps had to go off injured. Hampton came on. She's now England's number one. But there's an inconsistency, a streaky kind of pattern to how England have been since the World Cup. So how confident can we be when we declare that age-old motto now, in Serena we trust?
What I want to say is this. France at the moment won their last 8, 6 clean sheets. But at Euros or major tournaments have never made a final. England, yes, inconsistent with their results, but let's read out their stats in major tournaments, and I think that's where it matters.
It is. They weren't great at the World Cup, though, and I think they'll have some regrets. You know how it's said about players, they should leave nothing out on the pitch, they should give everything. I think they'll have regrets about that World Cup final against Spain. Mary Earps saved a penalty brilliantly. Spain won 1-0, but those England players surely will look back and think we could have done a bit more. Yeah,
or her, absolutely. I would have loved to have been in a position to be in a World Cup final, but these girls are winners now. They're used to winning at club level and on the international stage. But this is their trophy, and I'm telling you now, they will fight tongue, noose and tail, everything to keep that trophy. So I'm looking forward to seeing it tonight. I've got a good feeling watching them in the warm-up. I think they look in a really good place.
In terms of weaknesses, a right-footed left-back, is that a problem?
I've talked about it before. I'd love to see Alex Greenwood personally in that left-back role and actually move Jess Carter into the centre role. But I think Carter can do a job. She'll look to combine with the likes of Hemp in front of her. Hemp will go 1v1, so that kind of area, you just let Hemp do her thing and you support her from behind, and then she can look to deliver with her right foot. I think she had a really great game last game against Jamaica, Carter, and that's why I think she gets the nod over Charles.
And United fans will be thinking, hang on, Maya Letizia has been exceptional. We're in the Champions League. We've had a great season. And Serena seems to think she's a right back. United thinks she's a centre back, but she doesn't get a look in anyway. Greenwood goes to left back. You've got a choice then, haven't you? Carter at centre back, as you say, or Maya Letizia at centre back.
Yeah, absolutely. If it's me, I'd have Maya Letizia in that centre back role and Greenwood at left back. But I'm not the manager. I'm not someone that's gone and won Euros back to back. So let's see if the decision's right tonight.
Yeah, we will see. There's a lack of pace at the back, isn't there, for England? That could be a little bit of a problem. But the teams are on their way. The officials leading the 2 sets of players down the steps at this stadium here in Zurich. And because it's on the big screens, the fans know that those players are on their way. Big smiles from the officials. And the mascot is addressed. There's a huge banner being waved in the middle of the pitch over the centre circle by the volunteers. Euro 2025 is already well underway here in Switzerland. We've seen some magnificent performances from the likes of Spain. Germany, who've lost their captain now with injury, had a good win as well. But what can England do? What can the reigning champions do at these Euros? We are desperate for them to hold on to the trophy that they won at Wembley 3 years ago. But can they do it amidst the chaos pre-tournament? Everything seems calm in the England camp as the players walk out and line up behind the banner that says UEFA Women's Euro 2025 on the pitch, and behind the flag of France to the left and the St George Cross to the right. As we observe the national anthems, in a moment it'll be the French one. First, it's God Save the King. every single one of those players in the lineup for England singing the national anthem. And the French one's a lively affair. So let's take a listen and observe La Marseillaise. Listen to that. Come on, England. You remember that moment when the final whistle went at Wembley 3 years ago and England had won the Euros. England had won a major tournament. What a feeling. How good would it be if Williamson, Hemp, Bronze, Walsh, Stanway, Rousseau and co could go and do it all again. Major tournaments at the Arena for Serena. Their first hurdle at these Euros is a massive French one. The Lionesses against France at Euro 2025. Here's your team on Talksport in Zurich for this one. Pitch side behind the goal, it's Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, and on commentary, former England striker Tash Dowie alongside Joe Shannon.
Thanks, Adrian. Good evening, everyone. So here we go again. Another shot at history for the Lionesses. 3 years on from one of English football's great triumphs. Chloe Kelly's winner against Germany in the final of Euro 2022. Forever immortalised in the nation's sporting story. Now time for another summer of unforgettable moments. Sarina Wiegman's team could become the first England senior side to ever win a tournament overseas and the first England team to successfully defend a major title. First step, negotiate the toughest group at Euro 2025. Unpredictable France, a testing opener following what has been a challenging build-up at times for England, but a positive start will have the Lionesses dreaming big again. Silverware in Switzerland is the ultimate goal. After all the preparation, the on-pitch journey finally starts here in Zurich. At the Stadion Letzigrund, which really is an athletic stadium, there's a big running track between the stands and the pitch itself. The England fans, by the way, vastly outnumber their French counterparts. Of the 22,500 or so in this ground, 3/4 at least must be England supporters. England flags, the cross of St George, everywhere you look. It's a lovely evening for football, still warm in the northwest of the country, and the England players going into a huddle ahead of kick-off. Hampton is the goalkeeper, Bronze, Williamson, Greenwood and Carter, Walsh and Stanway, Mead, James and Hemp behind Rousseau, and for France, Pedro Magnon in goal, De Almeida, Lacroix, Sombat and Basha, Karshawi, Jean-Francois and Guillaume, with Baltimore, Cascarino and Katoto up front. But first of all, there are many more important things than football matches. Today was the funeral of Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva after they so tragically died earlier this week. And absolutely right that we will all come together now in Zurich for a moment of silence. They will never be forgotten.
Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva, who tragically passed away last Thursday. Bitte erheben Sie sich, sofern es Ihnen möglich ist, und nehmen Sie an der Schweigeminute teil, zu gedenken an den portugiesischen Nationalspieler und Stürmer des FC Liverpool, Diogo Jota, sowie seinen Bruder Andre Silva, die am Donnerstag tragisch ums Leben gekommen sind.
Well, immaculately observed after such a tragic and unfathomable loss. We will always remember Diogo Jota and his brother Andre Silva. 1966 and 2022, England's never-to-be-forgotten glory years. 2025 could be yet another where the glass ceiling is shattered. It could be the first ever year that England win a trophy on foreign soil, an England senior team. And the reigning European champions are about to get off and underway at Euro 2025. We're with the Lionesses for every kick right here on Talksport. England from right to left in the first half, white shirts, blue shorts, white socks, and the game is underway, and so is England's campaign. Hannah Hampton boots the ball forward straight away down the middle, and an early header away by Sombat at the heart of the France back line. The French, by the way, all in dark blue tonight with red socks, and they've got a throw in their left back position on the far side of the field. Selma Basha's going to take it. Former England striker Tash Dowie is alongside me in the commentary box. After all the waiting, here we go, Tash.
It feels like a final. You know, it's got that feeling about it. I think it's going to be a really feisty game. Serena Wiegmann said it's 3 cup finals, but this is the biggest one in the group.
Karshawi's lost out to Mead, and England down the right with James in the area straight away, and she's hammered it over the top from a really good position inside the penalty area. Had a free shot, England's Lauren James, her first start since April, and she should have scored. England could have been ahead inside a minute.
Yeah, she should have, absolutely, and that's why she's on the pitch, because she would normally bury that with her eyes closed. To not even hit the target or make the keeper make a save. I know we're early on into the game, but that's really not good enough for her standards.
Well, it's a highly presentable opportunity for England's Lauren James, and that was always the big talking point coming into tonight. Would Serena Wiegmann be tempted to bring Lauren James, who was so impressive at the World Cup, into the starting 11 for her Euros debut? Ella Toone left on the bench, James in from the start, and it's the sort of chance that the Chelsea forward usually would bury. France 0, England 0, England's opening game of the Euros, and it is live on Talksport. France have the ball back on the halfway line with Delphine Cascarino. No relation to Tony, I promise. She says she gets asked about it all the time. France have the ball now right in front of the England dugout, which is just in front of our commentary position here. I say we're at the England end. It feels like a home game, Tash Dowie.
Yeah, it does, and that's going to be a huge advantage. I know it's cliche when you say that 12th man, but that will absolutely help this England team. Make a good pass, make a good tackle, a good shot. You hear that crowd and roar, and for that French team, that's going to be quite daunting.
France have won all 8 of their matches in 2025, but they've never won a major tournament. Laurent Bonnaday is their head coach, all in black, a dark suit on the near side touchline. England on the break with Lauren Hemp, forward of the edge of the centre circle, inside France territory. Back to the halfway line towards Carter, slightly loose pass. Carter stabs it forward towards Hemp again. Sliding in is Di Almeida, the France right back, to win it back on this near side of the field. Di Almeida, who scored against England in Euros qualifying back last May in France's impressive win at St James's Park. It's a France throw on the halfway line. We are nearly 3 minutes into England's Euros campaign. France 0, the Lionesses 0, after Wales were beaten 3-0 by Netherlands in Group D.
Yeah, I like what I see in this first 3 minutes. England high pressing, front foot, not letting France out of their half. That's exactly what they need. First goal for me in this game is crucial.
Every England game will be live on Talksport, and Wales on the network as well. Carter for England, back towards Hannah Hampton. A treble winner with Chelsea last season, and now England's number 1 in a major tournament for the very first time. No more Mary Earps in an England shirt. Williamson to the halfway line, England's captain. Leah Williamson with a low ball forward towards Beth Mead. Russo to James, about 10 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Good interplay from England. James wriggles away down the right-hand side, heads for the dead ball line, taking on the defender. Left-footed cross over the head of Russo, and it drifts wide. What a ball in by James. I thought Russo was going to attack it on the edge of the 6-yard box, but she couldn't get a head on it. Neither could Hemp. Goal kick to France. England have had 2 big chances already.
Yeah, they have, and I tell you what, Lauren James can't do anything more. I'm actually going to question the 3 players in the box. No communication, movement's poor, 2 of them are already standing. You have to time your run, you have to communicate. Someone front, near and back, it's basics. She's put that ball into a perfect area, and that's a goal for any top number 9.
Well, they are calling this the group of death, the toughest group at this summer's Women's Euros. Wales and Netherlands, the other teams, of course, that England will play. They face the Dutch here in Zurich, live on Talksport next Wednesday. Vital that they get off to a good start. Sarina Wiegman out to the edge of the England technical area. Big technical area here. Part of it is on the running track, and she's already come across to give some instructions to England's left-sided centre-half, Alex Greenwood. It is France 0, the Lionesses 0. Walsh for England, pokes the ball over the halfway line, but De Almeida is there to win it back for the French. Infield now to Guillaureau. She's winning her 100th cap tonight, Grace Guillaureau. Chip ball towards the France left, and a miscued header by Mead, and France could be in here. Down the left-hand side, it's Sondi Baltimore to cross, all the way towards the back post. Good header away by Carter. Now Selma Basher on the edge of the England penalty area. Can't control it neatly enough, and England get away with it, and now maybe they can break 0-0.
That's what I love about Russo. Do you see there? She makes it look so easy, but as a number 9, you have to be able to make the ball stick. When your team's under pressure and they pump it up to you, the way that Russo is so aware, she's checking her shoulders, takes that touch and then lays it off. That's why she's so good and so important for this team. Tash Dowie, former England striker, live on Talksport, our England commentator tonight. And Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is right behind the goal in front of the England fans, and will be going across to get Courtney's take on what's happening throughout the 90 minutes. Do you know what I've noticed as well, Joe, which I think shows a lot of respect for this England team? Yep. England are pressing high, France aren't. They're dropping off into this deep block. You can see here they're not looking to press. I think that says a lot.
4 changes for France tonight, and 1 or 2 of them surprising, especially in the context of the squad and the players that were left out. 2 of France's most experienced players, Wendy Renard and Eugénie Le Sommer, who was the all-time top scorer, not included in the squad that travelled to Switzerland. Basher, left-back area for France. Good noise from the England fans all around the stadium. This bowl-shaped stadium feels quite old-fashioned, like an old athletics ground, and skinny floodlight pylons on the top of the roof. France have it again with Basher, left-back area, forward ball towards Baltimore on halfway. We know what Sondi Baltimore can do from her exploits with Chelsea in the WSL. Good tackle by the England right-back Lucy Bronze, and France, who are just trying to settle into the game, have got a throw on that far side.
Yeah, I think them two will know each other really well. Bronze versus Baltimore, a nice match up there. I'm surprised Katoto hasn't looked to spinning behind the centre halves a little bit more. She's looking to come for feet. For me, there's a pace there, and she's got the beating of those 2 centre halves.
Here come France with De Almeida raiding down the near side, the right. Ball infield to the captain, Karshawi, who spoke quite elegantly in the France press conference yesterday. Karshawi is fouled by Georgia Stanway. France will have a free kick in a dangerous area here, midway into the England half, and about 5-6 yards infield. Stanway is just going to get a talking to from the referee Tess Olofsson of Sweden. 0-0.
Yeah, it's a shame, really. You know, I like the aggressiveness, and I spoke about that. And Stanway, that's her game. You know, she's the cruncher in midfield. But I think for me, France haven't been in this game yet, and now you've given them a great opportunity and a good position to whip a ball in. Height-wise, they're probably taller than this English team, so I think it's a foul that didn't need to happen. She wasn't going anywhere. Just let her go backwards and then reshape.
England have won their last 14 group games at major tournaments. Basher's free kick pumped into the penalty area. Hannah Hampton says that's mine. And the England goalkeeper gathers on the edge of the 6-yard box. That's a good confidence-boosting take for the number 1 all in green.
I can't tell you how important that is for her. You know, it's different as a player. You can get an early touch, but as a keeper, you have to be patient and wait for your first touch. So she'll be happy to make a really good touch. That'll give her a lot of confidence.
Cascarino raiding down the near side, the France right. There are 2 in the penalty area waiting for the cross. Chip to the back post at Baltimore. Good header by Leah Williamson, and she was fouled by Baltimore anyway. And Hampton was able to pounce on the loose ball, but that was a terrific defensive header from the newly crowned club European champion Leah Williamson.
Yeah, it was. Nice combination play here. Carter gets done with the 1-2. And actually, I think it was a poor ball. You know, I think she should play a better ball than that. But 2v1 there, Leah Williamson and Lucy Bronze doubling up and do a really good job.
Good ball by Hampton over the halfway line towards Stanway, who actually miscontrolled it on her chest, and De Almeida allowed to run down this near side, the right for France again. She's carried it towards the edge of the penalty area. France 0, England 0 in the 9th minute on Talksport, and then eventually the ball from Guillaureau up the inside right is out of play, and England have got a goal kick. Let's take you behind the goal, behind Hannah Hampton's goal here on Talksport, and speak to our England reporter, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. What have you made of the first 9 minutes, Courtney?
Yeah, I think to the start of it, probably the first 7 minutes, I think it was all England, wasn't it? But this last 2 minutes, we've just given France a little bit of confidence, actually, in terms of that poor ball out from Alex Greenwood that was pounced upon, the 1-2, and also the early opportunity with Sunday Baltimore, where she crossed the ball. I thought she could have maybe taken that shot across the goal and given Hannah Hampton something to do, but she didn't in the end. So I just think we're giving France a little bit too much confidence at the moment, Joe.
Well, England on the attack at the other end of the field momentarily. Mead and Lacroix going head-to-head in the penalty area. There were actually shouts from both sets of supporters. Anything in that, Tash?
No, absolutely not. No, just strong defending, shoulder to shoulder. You can see here she actually takes quite a poor touch, and Mead and her both going at it, and yeah, there's nothing in that for me. But I've come from that era where you never go down. The game's changed a little bit now.
Will it be history for the Lionesses? Will they become the first senior England team to lift a major trophy on foreign soil? France 0, England 0, and England's defence of their Euros title is underway on Talksport with McDonald's. Try the new Big Arch now. Every England game live on Talksport next Wednesday at 5 o'clock against the Dutch, and then on Sunday, the 13th of July, against Wales in Basel, St Gallen rather. And Baltimore has given it away. Rousseau for England onto Mead. Right edge of the penalty area. Onto the left foot. Can she get the shot away? She took one touch too many. Tried to roll it back to Lauren James. Across came Jean-Francois. James for England has won a corner. No, goal kick given by the referee in that challenge with Jean-Francois by the corner flag.
Yeah, that's what I think we have to get better. Just in the game in general. Snapshots. Half a yard, take the shot. Even if it's on your weaker foot, the keeper won't expect you to score it. There was a goal earlier on, I think it was Switzerland in the opener, where Rice and the fullback took it on her right, her weaker foot, keeper didn't expect it. For me there, Mead, her goal scoring record is phenomenal. Take the shot, get your shot off early. As a striker, that's a key thing, is to try and get an early shot off.
Thomas Tuchel is here inside the stadium in Zurich, not far from where we're sitting here in the Talksport commentary position, and Mark Bullingham is alongside him as well. And France have possession with Lacroix. Hammers a long diagonal ball into England territory, header away by Beth Mead. That'll trick it out of play. France throw on that far side of the field, the left. Our commentary position, by the way, halfway inside the half that England are defending at the moment. So we're right amongst the England fans and close to the players' families as well, who are gathered a few seats in front of us. France have it again with Lacroix out to the right back, D'Almeida, who does like to get forward. She's also good in the air. France having a good spell in the game after England's fast start. Still 0-0, and we're 12 minutes in. Out on the left is Basher for France. Goes on the outside of Mead. Terrific pace from Basher. Racing to the dead ball line. Low ball in is going to be cleared away by Williamson. Not a good ball in the end by Basher. Mead, I think, got back at her just enough to put her off her stride there.
Yeah, well, that was a little bit of a worry, to be honest. Lucy Bronze gets drawn in, and then Mead's left 1v1 with Basher, and you do not want that. I think you could tell, pace-wise, that was a mismatch. So England have to be a little bit more disciplined with that.
High ball towards Katoto, beaten in the air by Williamson, and then Greenwood hooks the ball calmly downfield and away from danger. Lots of praise from Leah Williamson for Alex Greenwood yesterday. Brings the best out of people around her and demands so much out of her teammates as well as herself, does Alex Greenwood. And 100 caps now. She's an England legend, that's for sure. France on the attack down the left-hand side, and that early ball towards Basher from Sombath is overhit as the England fans break into song. Football's coming home is the chant. We certainly hope so, Tash Dower.
Yeah, I just want to say a little bit on Alex Greenwood as well. Someone that was a young kid when I was in the first team at Everton. She was coming through, a little scouser, and she just worked so hard throughout her career. And I'm so proud of her to see her make her 100th cap today. She's the ultimate pro from day one, always does the most than anyone else, keeps herself in the best kind of form, and she deserves this moment.
Tash Dowie knows what it's like to pull on the England jersey. High ball downfield by Williamson for England, and racing to chase it is Rousseau. Sombat gets back to roll it back to the goalkeeper. Very experienced Pauline Perrault-Magnon, and the goalkeeper clears downfield, but England have won it back again through James. Middle of the France half. Stanway out to the left, and Hemp back to the halfway line now, and England's left back Jess Carter, who, as we expected, has won the race to play in that position ahead of Niamh Charles. Walsh, the deepest lying England midfield player. So important, Kira Walsh, for England on every stage, but particularly in major tournaments. She has given it away in the centre circle. Karshawi with an early chip down the France right. That's much too long for Cascarino. And England will have a throw in the left-back position. Tash, you spoke to Adrian before the game about the importance of that midfield battle. Walsh against Guillaume especially.
Yeah, England will win it, and you can tell the French manager, Laurent Bonnet, is not happy. He's telling the French team to get higher, to press, to put pressure on them, and they're not. They're really struggling right now. And England, in my opinion, are in full control and probably should be at least 2 goals up. I'm really surprised with how this French team have come out. I thought they were going to be really confident, look to press high, look to stretch in behind, but I think they've made it very comfortable for England.
Yeah, France look nervy and cagey compared to England. James over the halfway line, inside left channel, suddenly accelerates forward. She's about 15 yards from the edge of the penalty area. Great ball to the right, Mead into the box, onto the left foot, plays a low ball, and Lauren Hemp is free! Saved by the goalkeeper, and puts it on the rebound! It is Alessia Rousseau who scores England's first goal of Euro 2025, and already the European champions are off and running, and deservedly so. Zurich has got balmy with the noise of England fans. What a moment yet again at a major tournament for Rousseau, and it is France 0, England 1.
Fully deserved, and I think this is why we trust Sarina Wiegman. Who's the player involved the most? It's Lauren James. Dribble, drive, penetrates. Lauren Hemp, actually, it's a good shot because she makes the keeper make a save. And what I mean by that is she's gone across the goal, so the keeper then has spilled it. And this is why I love Rousseau. People might say that's an easy finish. That is not an easy finish. That is a number 9 who knows where to be at the right time, always thinking the best, thinking the keeper's going to make a mistake, and that's why she scores so many goals.
VAR is checking for a potential offside leading up to the goal. Be interesting to see that again. But they're ready to kick off already here, France. Referee is just in conversation with the VAR. You can see that Tess Olofsson is just delaying the restart. But hopefully, in the next few moments, this goal check will be complete and the England fans will be able to cheer again. Rousseau thinks she's scored yet again at a major tournament for England. It'll be her 8th such goal if it stands. And the referee is signalling here that it is ruled out for an offside in the build-up, and France get away with it. It stays 0-0. Be interesting to see that again now, Tash.
Yeah, I'm just trying. During play, I didn't see it, but yeah, I think you can see Beth Mead's right foot. I mean, we're talking inches here. That's really tight. But it's actually a good decision there. Not for an English fan, but it's the correct decision. And what a shame. Massive let-up for France. But the crowd, you can see they're getting behind this English team. They need to carry on playing the way they're playing. They've been superb.
So 0-0. Sarina Wiegman looking disappointed as she goes and sits back down in the dugout. And England will have to go again. And Rousseau sees the goal ruled out, and confirmation that it is because Mead was only just in an offside position, of course. No such thing as clear daylight anymore.
That is frustrating, though. It's frustrating. You can see along the line, check your run, body positioning, that's basic. So I think Beth Mead will be disappointed there because the whole play. We talked about Lauren James coming in today to make a difference. We were hoping she would make a difference. Absolutely, she's looked one of the key players so far in these first 17 minutes.
Tash Dowie, who played up front for England. France 0, England 0 it is then. Wales 0, Netherlands 3 earlier in Group D. And in the Club World Cup quarter-finals, by the way, Chelsea winning 2-1 against Palmeiras. PSG beat Bayern Munich 2-0. Finished the game with 10 men, did PSG. Live on Talksport. Real Madrid against Dortmund at 9 o'clock is on Talksport 2 tonight. As ever, the best way to be across all the action is to download our free app, and you can swipe between both stations at your leisure, and lots of England content on the app throughout the Euros as well, on video, and you can watch live shows too. Free kick to England, inside right, midway into France territory. And Mead is standing over this for England, and so too is the left-footed Lauren Hemp.
Yeah, it's a really dangerous position. got some good numbers in there, and with these two over the ball, I expect a good delivery. Can we be first to it? Second balls, I think that's really important.
19th minute, England playing from right to left, plenty of white shirts forward here. It's at the France end of the stadium, although there were probably as many England fans behind Pedro Magnon's goal as there are France supporters. Now, who's going to deliver? Will it be Mead? She's going to leave it here for Hemp to whip the ball in high to the back post, and it's poorly struck, looping and easily gathered by the France goalkeeper.
Yeah, that's not like Greenwood. Normally she's so precise with her deliveries, and that was actually a really poor execution there.
Excuse me, yes, Greenwood rather. As
they've all got the long
Greenwood comes
ponytails
across to poke the ball out of play, and France will have a throw just in front of the England dugout. And here comes Elisa Di Almeida to take it. So many times France, they have reached the latter stages of major tournaments, but they've never gone all the way. In fact, they have never made a final as yet. Plenty of appearances in the semis, but they've never reached the final hurdle. Di Almeida to take a throw for them. Again, just in front of the England dugout with the England flag on the back of it. Di Almeida looking for options for France. England have been the better side, but the Lionesses are still goalless in their first group game. Katoto holds it up well for France on the edge of the penalty area. The tall striker lays it off to Basha, whose shot is blocked by Williamson, kept her arms by her side. Very deliberately there, the England skipper. Williamson going back to Hampton, who's under a bit of pressure. Hampton has to clear upfield left-footed. Di Almeida there to win it back for France. Cushioned header down the right, and Cascarino's onto it. Level with the edge of the box, taking on Carter, shimmies beyond Carter, and dinks in the delivery. Baltimore at the back post, Williamson hacks it away, and then the shot over the top from Jean-Francois drifts high over the bar and down onto the running track.
Oh, beautiful play there by Cascarino. You know, 1v1, fancies herself and backs herself every time, and to be honest right now, she's got the backing of Carter. A little step over there and then half a yard, and she's done her. And then it's not just done her, she's put in a beautiful ball. And it could have easily fallen into one of them. So that was a moment. I think this is a tough thing. England are very comfortable, but give France one moment, one sniff, and they will punish you.
We've had England offside against Mead, by the way, in the build-up to the goal that never was. We've got the benefit of seeing replays on our monitor here in the commentary position. It's probably as tight an offside after a VAR check as I've ever seen it. It's a hair's breadth. I mean, you almost can't see it.
No, it did. It looked really tight. I didn't see it in real play, you know, and even then when we watched it back on the TV here, you know, it was really tight. And it's unfortunate because, like I said, they were really building on that momentum, but they have to keep this momentum up. They can't let France into this first half.
The sun setting here in Zurich. France on the attack. Katoto surely going to be offside as she races into the box, and England go back to Hampton anyway. Bronze was there. The flag doesn't go up from the assistant referee, but you'd have thought it would have done had France created a meaningful opportunity. Russo on halfway has held it up nicely for England. The number 8 Stanway finds Arsenal's Russo again. Inside left channel, good run out on the angle on the overlap by Lauren Hemp, who whips in the cross towards James with an overhead kick. From in and around the penalty spot, it's not a bad effort. It's looped up over the top. Pure instinct from arguably England's most gifted natural talents, but she couldn't keep it down. And midway through the first half, it is still 0-0. Here's the former England striker, Tash Dower.
I think she's the only player on that pitch with an England shirt on that would have tried that, or even had the audacity to try that. It's great play, and it all came from Russo. And Russo's not just a top goal scorer. Her work rate off the ball to go and run that down and win something and then create an attack, it's just phenomenal. I love her. I love her whole round game. She has everything as a number 9.
Whatever happens tonight, you can have your say on the full-time phone-in with 2 former England stars on Talksport, Darren Bent and Jordan Nobbs. 03717 223344 is the number to call, England fans. Williamson for England, forward to the halfway line. Russo tried to hold up the play, and she shrugged aside in the middle of midfield by Jean-Francois, who didn't see a lot of football at Chelsea last season, but I was always impressed whenever I saw her come on. That's a short pass, though, that James nearly gets on the end of, and Jean-Francois bailed out by Lacra's excellent challenge on James.
Well, that's the big surprise for me, if I'm being completely honest. Lack of game time at Chelsea. Toletti, for me, is phenomenal. Real Madrid sits there, does a Kira Walsh, and I think right now, France, that's the reason why they're struggling in that midfield. They can't get a grip of this game.
Now on the attack down the near side, the right, the French with Di Almeida. 10 yards from the dead ball line in a one-on-one with Hemp. Carter pokes the ball away from Cascarino. Cascarino with a little dummy infield pass to Karshawi. 30 yards out, and that's an ambitious curling shot that was always going over the top.
Yeah, happy days. England will be absolutely loving that. And I think that shows a frustration from this French side. This is not what we expected to see after 24 minutes. I think they've looked pretty poor, to be honest. I think their only real threat has been Cascarino down this right-hand side. The other players really haven't had the impact. I think England will look very good.
Plenty of England fans here tonight, and among them, two of the younger spectators watching on and finding themselves on the big screen and delighted with that. Across comes Somback for France. Good work from the defender. Raced across with all of the pace that she's got to beat Bronze to the ball. And a good long pass down the middle, and Hampton is backpedaling. Karshawi's lobbed her! And it's into the side netting. Good effort from Karshawi, and that was a heart-in-mouth moment for England's Hannah Hampton. The goalkeeper caught in no man's land as she went backwards and backwards. She was stranded, and the net rippled, but fortunately for England, Karshawi can only find the side netting.
Well, I talk about warning signs, and that's exactly it. And I do think the two centre-halves, pace-wise, that's an issue. One long ball, she's in behind, and in my opinion, she has to score. She has to hit the target. Yes, it's a hard technique, but the goal's there. The keeper's come out. Lucy Bronze has bombed forward, which has left them isolated. And that is definitely an area that the French will target. They'll know that Bronze loves to get forward, and then you can really exploit that pace of Greenwood and Leah Williamson.
Well, that was the first really tense moment for the England fans behind the goal to our right. Cascarino for France again delivers, and she's a tricky customer. Corner has come off the cross has come off the back of Carter, and France get the game's first corner right in front of us on the near side there right.
And now I think Hemp has had to come back and help Carter, almost double up and make it a 2v1 because she's really struggling. I think that's how well Cascarino has played in this first 30 minutes for France. She's looked a real threat.
Tash Dowie, who was buzzing in the build-up to this game, went down to the fan zone earlier in central Zurich. Lots of England fans about. The referee has actually given a France free kick here instead of a corner. It's as good as a corner, really. It's only a couple of yards away. Basher will take it, and she's got a really good left foot. Selma Basher for France. It was Carter who ultimately was penalised. 0-0 as we head towards the half-hour mark. Basher chips in the free kick in towards the penalty spot, header goalwards, and Bronze must have got a shout from Hampton because she ducked inside the 6-yard box, and Hampton was there. I was a bit nervous for a moment there, Tash.
Yeah, absolutely. It must have been a loud, clear shout, and I think that also shows the confidence of Lucy Bronze to be able to just leave that.
And lots of England players warming up on a small strip of fake turf on the running track in front of us here. And the floodlights on at the Stadion Letzigrund outside the city centre of Zurich. Really warm day again today, but a bit cooler now. Greenwood has got possession for England. Forward pass to the halfway line, and Georgia Stanway blocked off by Somback. Good authoritative challenge from her again. Katoto back to goal. Lays the ball out wide to Cascarino, who takes a good couple of deft touches to wriggle in field. She pokes it through the legs of Rousseau. France have switched the play now from right to left, and on the far side is Basher. Inside left channel with Baltimore on the overlap. Baltimore controls. France in their dark blue shirts, playing from left to right in the first half. Guioro, powerful midfield player, turns away from Stanway, rolls the ball down the France left again. Baltimore in field from the touchline, scampers beyond Lucy Bronze, darts towards the dead ball line, pulls the ball across. Lauren Hemp is there to cut it out for England, because there were plenty of runners for France inside the penalty area. And once again England finding trouble in the wing positions, and once again France getting in behind Tash Dowie.
Yeah, full-back wise it's a problem right now. Lucy Bronze and Carter are really struggling. You have Baltimore and Cascarino. It's actually a really poor ball in the end by Baltimore. She does well, but then she has to pick someone out there for a tap-in.
And a 50-50 Stanway and Jean-Francois just outside the centre circle, and in the end the French have it back. France 0, England 0. You are listening to Talksport, your home of the Women's Euros. Every England game is live with us, including the next one against the Dutch here in Zurich, inside the stadium on Wednesday night. France have it with Cascarino, and she's been fouled by Karshawi, and Carter's had a tough time against Cascarino so far. At the moment, the French winger's at walking pace, but she skips beyond Carter again. Into the penalty area she goes, trying to work it onto her left foot. Now the shot is on maybe for Basher from the edge of the penalty area. The left back who likes to raid forward, and a curling deflected effort is handled by Hampton. It hit Rousseau and looped up, and Hampton was there to gather.
Yeah, confidence is building now for this French team. They've started to showboat, and to me that's a little bit worrying. We talk about momentum in football and how important it is. I think England's goal needed to count. They were really on top the first 15 minutes, but now this last 5 minutes, the French are really growing into this game.
So it's 0-0. Let's go pitch side behind the goal and get the thoughts of our England reporter, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk.
Yeah, well, echo what Tash is saying up there in the press box. For me, the wide areas are such a problem. I was excited to see that matchup against each other. Obviously, domestic teammates in Sunday Baltimore and Lucy Bronze, but Tash mentioned it as well. We know that Lucy Bronze, she loves to get forward, but she's probably not got the pace she had 5 years ago. And a lot of the time she used to bomb forward and she could use her pace to get her out of jail. But I think France are certainly exploiting that area. And Cascarino, for me, obviously, I'm an England fan. I want England to win, but every time she gets the ball and drives into the box, I'm sort of in line with the 18-yard box, and just watching her play, she's absolutely magnificent. Jess Carter, she's having a real issue with it, and you're right, then by that point it's them pulling Lauren Hemp a little bit further back, which is negating obviously her threat going forward. So you can definitely feel the change in momentum at the moment going towards France.
Former Liverpool striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk behind the goal to the right-hand side in front of the England fans. England have got a free kick on halfway. Rousseau took a long time to get up, but she now is back on her feet, which is good to see. James with an early ball chip down the right, too long for Mead, and out to play for a goal kick. And suddenly, half an hour gone, Tash Dowie. It is 0-0, and England, as you've been saying and as Courtney's been saying, starting to find it going a little tougher against this quite dynamic French forward line.
Yeah, I think this is more what I expected, if I'm being honest. A little bit more of an even matchup. England were really dominant. So you expect both teams to have a spell of momentum. It's just whether or not you can then keep them out. And right now England are. And I'm guarantee you in maybe 3 or 4 minutes time, England are going to have a spell of momentum again. But it's who can be the one to score and make the most of that. I think I talked about it, the first goal. I honestly believe whoever scores first will go on to win this game.
Mexican wave going around the ground at the moment.
That's not a good sign, is it? Normally that's when people are bored, isn't it?
You're not going to get up, are you, Tash?
Oh, absolutely.
You're going to join in. Nearly 23,000 here tonight. Tense on the field. D'Almeida for France. Right corner of the penalty area. High cross to the back post. Baltimore tries to chest it down. Spat off the turf towards her. She's done well to control it, and Bronze is backing off on the England right. Baltimore has held it up. Edge of the penalty area, good cross. Cascarino can't get there. The offside flag is up. D'Almeida denied by Hampton anyway, and play continues here inside the box. D'Almeida pulls it back to Karshawi. Heavy first touch. England with plenty of white shirts between Karshawi and the goal. She's still in the 18-yard box, and finally the assistant puts the flag up again, and I don't know whether Tess Olofsson, the referee, missed the initial flag or not, but play was allowed to continue. The phase of play's over, and it's an England free kick.
That was bizarre. Straight away the linesman has put her flag up, and then all of a sudden puts it down and play carries on, and then puts the flag up again. I don't know what happened there, but it's another chance. The French are growing into this game. This is a moment. England, this is weather the storm. It's a tough period. They know that. They know they'll have to suffer at moments. So this is where they have to stick together. And things like that, Beth Mead, it has to stick. I think she's been quite poor so far in this game. Clumsy. When you're under pressure, you have to make the ball stick.
You're absolutely right. It was a clumsy pass from Mead. England are on the defensive again. France down the left-hand side. Basher has won a corner. And that will be the first corner of the night. You're listening to Women's Euro 2025 live on Talksport McDonald's. Order the iconic Big Arch on the McDonald's app. And England know, Serena Wiegmann knows, Tash, that in these kind of matches they are going to have to suffer.
Yeah, they are, and we don't like to see it. We don't like to see Hemp and Mead have to go back and do their defensive work. That's not what we want to see, but right now they're going to have to do that. Every single player can't get away with not doing the attacking and the defending side of the game.
Everybody's back here for England actually to defend this corner. Basher takes it short, gets it back from Guilloro, rolls the ball backwards about 20 yards, fizzed into the penalty area towards Lacroix at the back post, but it's over her head. Well marshalled actually by Mead, I think was picking up Lacroix there. And it's going to be a goal kick to England and Hannah Hampton. Much for Serena Wiegmann to ponder. England with those early chances, very early on in the game, in fact, for Lauren James. and the disallowed goal after the tightest of offside calls. But if it was England's first 20 minutes, then in the last 13 or so, France have started to show why they are up there with the favourites for this tournament, and Hannah Hampton's just knocked the ball straight out of play.
Yeah, as a player now, this is where I really like to see body language, and leaders. It's easy when things are going well. Now when things are going a little bit tough, people mislaying passes. Let's see who really stands up. We've lost a lot of experience with the 3 players we mentioned earlier. Now let's see who the real leaders are.
This is about the defence of a title for England. The European champions. Will football come home again this summer? France have got a player down inside the England half. They are going to continue in possession because Cascarino's away. Down the right-hand side, beyond Carter, pulls it back to the edge of the penalty area, and it's behind all 3 France players in the box. And now the referee stopped the game when, to me, it doesn't look like a head injury for Basha at all. Strange decision from the referee to delay stopping the game. It's not a head injury. And then eventually, as England look to break, the game is stopped.
Yeah, frustrating. Poor refereeing, and you can see the fans in the stadium are letting her know that. She has to do better there.
Well, the ball is going to be back with Hampton anyway. The Basha, who's looked lively, is up on her feet. Laurent Bonnadet, the France head coach, is just standing on the edge of his technical area. Big night for him. First major tournament game as a head coach. Here is Stanway for England on the halfway line after good hold-up play by Russo, but the ball from Stanway towards Hemp was poor, lacked power. France on the counter straight away. Cascarino in behind down the right, drills it across. Katoto! 1-0 to France! And England go behind. They gave it away, but how deadly were France on the counter-attack? What a ball by Di Almeida, threaded down the England left. Carter could not keep up with the pace of Cascarino, and England were caught out yet again. This time, France make them pay. Katoto tapping in. France won. The Lionesses 0.
And it's moments really poor by Georgia Stanway. Under no pressure, gives the ball away. And this is what I'm talking about, the top nations. You give the ball away in the wrong area, you will be punished. Players out of position, one ball, and this is the area that England have really struggled with. And if they don't address this in the second half, I think it's going to be an issue. Cascarino has been phenomenal. There's me questioning maybe why she's starting, saying she hadn't started in the last 5 games. Well, now I can see why she has. It's not just getting in behind, it's then the execution of that ball. It is perfectly weighted on the floor, whipped in behind. And Katoto, she's just phenomenal. Her stats, 39th goal now in 56 caps. I think that says it all.
It is an incredible record, and England are on the back foot in Zurich. An England team that has not lost a match at the Euros ever under Sarina Wiegman, but an England team who don't have that air of invincibility that they had perhaps 3 years ago. An England team that over the last couple of years has often felt as likely to lose a big game as they are to win it. They started well, but they are 1-0 down, and I wonder whether the England head coach is going to have to think about changes at half-time in the full-back positions with 8 minutes of the first half to go, Tashdale.
Yeah, no, I don't like a stat, but France have won their last 5 opening games in the Euros, so they'll be confident being 1-0 up. And you can see here, straight away there's an issue there. That has to be changed. Carter
cannot cope with the pace of Cascarino. That is obvious. Here is Karshawi. 25 yards out, dead centre. Early ball into the box, took a deflection. Bronze very calmly back to Williamson, who's given it away. England are losing the midfield battle at the moment. Haven't seen Stanway and Walsh on the ball. Not seeing much of Mead or even James now. France on the attack again. A long way out as the ball's threaded into the penalty area towards Cascarino once more by Gioro. England win it back, and here is Hemp almost in the left back position, the left winger, and England have got to find a grip on the game and quickly. 1-0 down in their opening match of this summer's Euros, live on Talksport.
And the problem is, Joe, I don't like to highlight players, but I don't think we've got an answer to that. Niamh Charles is probably pace-wise just the same as Carter. So I think that's an area that we're going to have a problem with.
And Lacroix won it back off Russo, and Baltimore left edge of the penalty area. Angle against her, thought about shooting. Beyond Lucy Bronze, beyond Williamson. Baltimore with a shot, and France have scored again. And England are all over the place. Baltimore of Chelsea has curled it beyond Hampton, and this is a dream night in Zurich for the French, but for the European champions and Sarina Wiegman, it is quickly turning into a nightmare, and England were turned inside out. Bronze and Williamson left on the ground. What a curling finish from Sondy Baltimore, but she should never have been allowed to be in the position in the first place, and England are under real threat here in their first game of the tournament. The goal will be checked, but as it stands, 2 goals in 3 minutes, France 2, England 0.
Sarina Wiegman, hands on hips. I'm looking around. This is a problem right now, Joe. You know, I'm not saying I played at the top level in this kind of situation, but I want to see body language. I want to see a captain going round, high-fiving, saying, come on, you know, get back in the game, get a huddle, get people in. But right now, everyone's got their hands on their hips, looking at each other. Well, no, you have to step up. You know, this isn't good enough. You know, within 5 minutes, the game could be done and dusted.
Is there a foul by Lacroix on Rousseau in the build-up, Tash? Because that is what VAR is checking right now. Lacroix sliding in on Rousseau. That was the initial win-back of possession.
No, she gets the ball. You can see there she slides and hooks with the back of her foot, and in my opinion, she wins the ball, so I think the goal will count. And I've got to give credit. We're talking about how poor England have been the last few minutes, but Baltimore, phenomenal. Both of them have in the Y. 1v1s, does Lucy Bronze, sits her down on the floor, and then on her weaker foot shapes it top right into the corner. Phenomenal play.
Well, it's still being checked, this second France goal. And England will breathe a massive sigh of relief if it is disallowed, but it's not going to be disallowed. The check's over, and Sarina Wiegman, arms up into the air, and then her hands go to her head. She can't believe it. She feels this should have been ruled out. The goal is given, and it is 2-0 to France. And England have a massive job to do in their first game of the tournament. And we'll get the thoughts of our England reporter Courtney Sweetman-Kirk in just a few moments, but Tash?
And that worries me as well, though, Joe. You don't normally see Sarina Wiegman like that. So straight away to see her so angry, I think that shows her frustration. That wasn't a foul. It's quite clear that it wasn't a foul. She got the ball cleanly. So I think to me that shows that she's not happy. You know, we don't normally see that. She's normally very calm.
42nd minute. France 2, the Lionesses 0. Out on the right for England is Lucy Bronze, looking to raid down that far side. She's surrounded by 3 in dark blue. Done well to try and force the ball towards the corner flag, but the throw has gone the way of the French, and Bronze is really frustrated here. Meanwhile, behind the goal, on the running track, Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, you've had the best view of the 2 goals that the French have scored, but should the second have counted, I wonder?
No, I think it's the right decision. Unfortunately, I've had a fantastic view of the goals. Part of me obviously wish that I hadn't, but it's all for me down the French right-hand side. I think they've been fantastic in terms of D'Almeida, Cascarino, been absolutely brilliant. Sondy Baltimore as well. I was so sort of disappointed actually initially with her in terms of getting in great positions but not finding her end product, but now she's finding that as well, maybe making the wrong decisions, and maybe when she should have shot she's crossed or she's took the extra touch. But now, you know, we're seeing that the fact that England haven't taken their opportunities, and now France, as you say, and Tash said it in commentary, once you give them an opportunity they will take it, and something needs to change in that defence, because whether it's Jess Carter with her initially and her 1v1s, but actually it's terms of making sure that D'Almeida can't play that ball, and Karshawi in the midfield as well. It's too easily getting to Cascarino in my opinion, so it's not just on Jess Carter. We've got to look where the ball is coming from too, Joe.
And Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is going to speak to the England boss Sarina Wiegman after the game, and we'll bring you that interview on Talksport. Of course, there's still plenty of time for England here. Former Lionesses striker Tash Dowie, but they have a stern task ahead of them against a France team who are obviously high on confidence.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what happens at half-time. If changes are made, I think changes have to be made, especially in both probably the left-back role, absolutely. You know, is Lauren James going to come off and maybe a Toon come on? I think Mead's been pretty poor as well. Maybe a Chloe Kelly with her deliveries, but Rousseau needs better service.
Well, England win it back with Williamson on halfway. Quick ball forward to James, racing forward from the edge of the centre circle. She's rolled it on to Mead, right edge of the penalty area. Rousseau's in the middle, cross to the back post, headed behind by D'Almeida. England will get their first corner with 90 seconds of normal time to go in the first half.
See, that really frustrates me. And I'm not playing the game. It's easy sitting up here, and I know it's hot. But you're 2-0 down with a few minutes to go till half-time, and you have one person in the box. You have to bust a gut. You know, the likes of Stanway, Kira Walsh, Hemp, get back post. You know, you need it more. I need to see more from this England team.
And that's the basics. I mean, that's fundamental in any game of football, let alone a major tournament opener, with the Lionesses defending their Euros crown, but it's not started well. Mead delivers the corner to the back post, headed away. And France can maybe break, leading as they do by 2-0. Sarina Wiegman watches on with her arms folded on the touchline, and France attacking down their left. Carter's come across, and it is a France throw on halfway as she blocks off Jean-Francois. But it's not just Jess Carter you can look at from an England perspective. Not been much control in the midfield areas so far tonight at all, Tash.
Yeah, I think the big players, Kira Walsh, you need to see her on the ball more, but I think France have nullified that. Stanway, when she has been on it, has been really sloppy, not good enough. Lauren James, she's done as much as she can do, but she can't do it on her own. I'm just actually looking down the bench as well, and Abiva Jones brings someone on. Her goal-scoring record for Chelsea and the country is phenomenal.
Here come France with Jean-Francois wriggling into the England half, and a great reverse ball down the left-hand side to Baltimore. Baltimore looks up, thinks about an early cross. 5 minutes added at the end of the first half after a couple of VAR checks. James gets a tackle in, it deflects off Baltimore last. The two club teammates play for Chelsea going head-to-head, and it's an England goal kick. 5 minutes then in terms of added time, Tash Dowie. I wonder whether Sarina Wiegman would just want to get the England players in as quickly as possible.
Absolutely. I just have to highlight there Lauren James. Phenomenal. And that's what she needs to add to her game even more. To come back and do that tracking back with Baltimore and then to get a goal kick. And especially someone that's been out for so long. I think that's really top draw. I think she's the only one out of this team so far that can walk in saying, I've done as much as I can do.
Russo's trying to hold the ball up on the halfway line. Rolls the pass backwards beyond Bronze, and Williamson to the feet of Hampton. It's not like we haven't seen these defensive issues coming for England. We have seen it across the 24-25 season, and against top opposition. There was a 4-3 friendly defeat to Germany that flattered England really, but was characterised again by terrible defending. And although the France finishes have been good, England defensively have been poor for both goals as we go into the second minute of 5 added at the end of the first half.
Yeah, look, Cascarino's a bit of a freak with regards to how quick she is. I don't think there is an answer. I don't think bringing on Charles will make a difference. I still think she's quicker. So for me then, it's a case of doubling up. You know, the likes of Greenwood has to tuck over, you know, to then allow her, if she does get done, to support. Hemp has to do more to get back. It's about your teammates then, knowing that you're struggling. Help your teammate out. We haven't seen that enough.
Williamson for England just shy of halfway. A square ball to Greenwood. England look shocked by what has happened. 2 goals in 3 minutes for the French. France 2, England 0. We've had nearly 2 of the 5 added minutes in the first half. England on the attack, and they're going to need something special to turn this game around. Hempers had gone down. It's an England throw, level with the France penalty area on the far side, the England right. And back they go to England to the halfway line once again. Now the ball is at the feet of Greenwood. Out to the right-hand side of Williamson. Early pass towards Stanway, who hasn't really exerted any kind of influence at all, probably from the opening 15 minutes. That was easily England's brightest spell. James darts in field to the edge of the D, finds Russo, wriggles away from a marker, plays it back to Walsh, who has played a poor pass. Overhit beyond Stanway and out of play for a goal kick to the French.
So frustrating and so unlike Kira Walsh. Again, Lauren James, dribbling, driving, committing, positive play, finds Russo, holds it up really well, checks back then to Walsh. And, you know, for me here, when you're struggling, make the easy pass. You know, keep it simple, don't overcomplicate it. And that's what England haven't done well enough. They've been too sloppy and they've overcomplicated it. They have to go back to basics.
2 minutes of first half added time to go. They were very bright early on, England, but they can't really get near the game now.
The goals really shook them up. You know, decisions obviously haven't gone their way. You know, they just allowed goal inches away from going 1-0 up. Would that have changed the game and the momentum? But you have to react to that. Serena Wiegman not happy, with obviously the second goal. But you have to react to that. You can't sulk. You can't sulk at international football.
Greenwood for England, back to Hampton. Hampton midway inside her own half, 90 seconds of added time to go, and England not exactly getting the ball forward with great urgency. Greenwood under no pressure on the halfway line, feeds Mead, who rolls the ball out to the left-hand side, and Carter in front of the France technical area. Laurent Bonnedet, the manager, is urging his players to press England as they try to win it back and keep this 2-0 lead. France have been excellent after a nervy start. Greenwood square to Williamson. The England fans, who are the vast majority of the crowd in Zurich tonight, trying to summon the noise and back this England team. Walsh inside the centre circle with a high diagonal ball arcing towards the right. Last 45 seconds at the end of added time, and the ball is picked up with England in possession now with Lucy Bronze inside right, tries to poke the ball infield. She couldn't find Stanway. France get it away. Williamson wins it back on the halfway line, but the ball has come to De Almeida, who will clear back into England territory, and France are nearly there as far as half-time is concerned.
Yeah, really professional, last kind of 5 minutes by France. They're happy with this. They're 2-0 up. They're in control.
Chipped down the middle towards James, who wins the flick on. Rousseau on the edge of the D, plays it back to Georgia Stanway. It's her sort of range. Deflected shot goes behind for a corner. You could see what Georgia Stanway was thinking the second she got to it. England corner right at the end of 5 added. They're 2-0 down.
Yeah, but that's her biggest strength, shooting from distance. And she needs to do more. This is a big opportunity now. If they can get a goal here and go in at 2-1, they're right back in the game.
Alex Greenwood is going to take it. And is there late hope in the first half here for the Lionesses? 2-0 down. France have brought everybody back. This is going to be left-footed and in swinging from Greenwood. A couple of England flags behind her as she puts 2 arms up into the air. Here's the delivery, fizzed into the near post, headed away. France deal with the threat again. Cascarino on the break for them, the lively Cascarino, one of the players of the match so far. And that is half-time. What a chastening start to the defence of their Euros campaign it is so far for England. No reigning champion has ever lost their first game at the following Euros, but maybe that record is going to come to an end tonight, and England are going to make some unwanted history. It started brightly for them, very brightly. Lauren James should have scored, and then her cross went just over the head of Alessia Russo, who couldn't quite reach it. Then after 16 minutes, Russo had the ball in the net, but the goal was disallowed after a VAR review for a very tight offside against Beth Mead in the build-up. And England seemed as though they never really recovered. The 2 goals that have come for France came in the space of 3 minutes, both the product of poor England defending. The first from Katoto, the second in particular, England in a real muddle at the back. And Sondi Baltimore curled it beyond the diving England goalkeeper Hannah Hampton to leave the Lionesses fans shell-shocked here in Switzerland. And the half-time score, France 2, England 0.
What were we saying before the game about England going for second place in the group? Well, it's going to plan so far. Listen, I'm joking, obviously. Seeing the players' faces as they made their way up the steps and into the dressing room, they're shell-shocked as well. The story of that half, England bossed it completely. First 20-odd minutes, they didn't take their chances. They were victims of a dodgy VAR decision, in my opinion, robbed of a goal. I can't even see an offside. And then France basically sussed us out, Tash Dowie. I mean, Cascarino against Carter is a total and utter mismatch, but England have had a couple of years to try and find a decent left-back who's got a left foot and got some pace and can cope at the very top level, and they simply haven't been able to do that, have they?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the bench, and I'm saying Carter's a good player, Adrian, Charles is a good player, but pace-wise, they can't live with Cascarino. And yeah, you're spot on. I'm thinking, would a change make a difference bringing Charles on? I don't think it would. Could you even bring on, I don't know, Letizier with her pace maybe, but I can't really see an answer there with regards to those 1v1 areas. So again, I spoke about it during the first half. You have to help your team out more. If you know someone's struggling that much, you have to do more than to support her and to cover her. And in my opinion, Hemp, Greenwood, the midfield, tucking over Stanway, haven't done enough, and they've really left Carter in a really bad position and made her look a poor player, which she's not.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying, Emma, but we're talking about the elite trophy-winning level Are you going to be able to cope up against the very best? And clearly that hasn't happened in the first half. Hopefully she can get better in the second half. But she's not the only one. And you know what I feel sorry for, Tash? Alessia Russo's been 10 out of 10 so far. She's been utterly brilliant, but the players around her haven't. One or two have been okay, but some of them are way below the levels they've set themselves.
Yeah, and I think that's the most frustrating thing as a number 9. It's the best position in the world when you're getting opportunities, when you're getting chances. But when you're not, when you're that isolated number 9, when you're getting poor deliveries, it's so frustrating. And you can't fault Russo. She'll create a chance of her own because of her work rate off the ball. But her teammates owe her more. And the players are good enough to. Stanway, Walsh have been way off it. Hemp's been way off it. I'd be very surprised if you don't see players coming on in this second half.
Mead as well. I think Kelly for Mead is one of the most obvious
definitely
substitutions in this half-time break. Be fascinating to see what Serena does. Let's go down pitch side behind the goal to Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. I'll get your view on this in a moment, Tash, but Courtney, first of all, you were closest to it. The second goal, Lucy Bronson's gone miles upfield on the right-hand side, attacking fullback fine, but Alessia Russo's being tackled in the centre circle. I don't know why Bronzy's so far upfield when we're 1-0 down. It's almost like game management has gone completely. She then runs back, chases back, which is fine, but gets involved, and she's got the assist for the second goal. This is not a new player. Lucy Bronze is experienced, 130-odd caps. What is going on at the back there, Courtney? You're closest to it.
Yeah, well, it's something we'd already seen, Adrian, wasn't it? I think I'd mentioned it in one of your throws down to me that she'd bombed on and she couldn't get back. And that's the thing, Lucy Bronze is a vastly experienced player. Has won more things than I've ever won in my career. But there's got to be a point at sometimes where, for example, in Chelsea, when she's playing for Chelsea, because they dominate the ball so much, she can afford to do that, Lucy Bronze, because if they do lose it, 9 times out of 10, there's the ability someone will come across, someone will get back. And because of the opposition that they're playing against a lot of the time, it doesn't really matter, because then the opposition aren't good enough to punish them, where this is different. And obviously, look, she's not slow, let's get it right, but she has lost a little bit of pace, Lucy Bronze, and that's where, obviously, as you get older, as things change as a play, you need to realise that. So the way that you're right, that she's bombed on, she's totally ahead of the play, totally ahead of the ball, and left us exposed, and as I say, not for the first time. And that's where in a game you think, right, actually I've done that once, I maybe need to be a little bit more pragmatic going forward. And the way that France have exploited it, I think they've been excellent. There's no doubt in my mind that the first 20 minutes England were the far better team, but as they've grown into it, France, Sunday Baltimore's been excellent, Cascarino and De Almeida. And in terms of, yes, I agree, Jess Carter has to do better 1v1, but I still stand by what I said earlier. There's got to be more in terms of stopping the ball coming into her in the first place. So Lauren Hemp has to do better in terms of getting up close to De Almeida in that midfield as well, when Karshawi comes and picks it up and she pings the ball out to the France right-hand side. It's too easy. They've got too much time to do it. So yes, Jess Carter has to do better with the 1v1s, but I agree with Tash in terms of there's probably not a player like for like that can come in and change it. So that's where you've got to ask yourself a question of Serena Wiegman. Do you want to go and maybe change the formation, go to like a 5 at the back, 2 up top? That could bring in Aggie Beaver-Jones. That could completely change the formation. Or do you say to whoever's playing out on the left-hand side, it could be Lauren Hemp, you've got to drop in and make sure that you double up, or you bring one of the defensive midfielders around to apply a shield. Now, the problem is with that, obviously, once you do that, it negates the threat of Lauren Hemp, or if you bring one of the midfielders across, it leaves a gap in the midfield. But these are the questions now that Serena Wiegman's got to ask herself.
And she's got to do some big work in that dressing room. Listen, it's only half-time, but the European champions have a big French problem. England 0, France 2, live on Talksport.
Cricket. It's built for big moments. And Betfair is built for cricket. For the one-handed catches, the wicket-taking deliveries, the run-outs, reviews, ramp shots and sweeps, for every swashbuckling, six-hitting, match-turning moment, and for every umpire's call. We're ready for all the action from the England v India Test Series this summer. Are you? Betfair.
18+Gambleaware.org.
Enjoy the match with Carling. The games, the goals, and the gang you share it with. How's that for an unbeatable lineup? Make matchday memories that last a lifetime with Carling, the beer of football. 18+, always drink responsibly.
On Morrison's Market Street, for this week's fresh weekly specials, save a third on British sirloin steak. Now £20 a kilo. That's £4.54 for a juicy 8-ounce steak. So get out the pan, turn up the heat, and whip up a storm in the kitchen. Go on, treat yourself and someone you really love to a delicious steak dinner, all without breaking the bank. Fresh from Market Street. Majority of stores. Online may vary, subject to availability. Excludes Morrison's Daily. Was £30 per kilo, ends 6th of July.
I need to tell you about the races today.
I've just left the girls. We had such a nice day.
We all wore something pink.
Sue made us all wear pink.
Josie pulled out all the stocks for the picnic.
My sausage rolls went down a storm.
And I spotted a jockey wearing pink in the parade ring, so we had to back him.
Sue picked the winner in the big race.
We got a bottle with the winning.
Next thing you know, she's got us all on the dance floor.
I've still got the moves.
Her dancing was hilarious.
We've already booked to come again.
Watch out for the ladies in pink.
4 million memories made every year. The going is good. Great British Racing. Search horse racing near me.
FIFA Club World Cup on 5. Only 8 teams remain. 2 heavyweights collide as Real Madrid take on Borussia Dortmund live.
Jude Bellingham!
FIFA Club World Cup. Real Madrid versus Borussia Dortmund. Tonight at 8. Watch, stream on 5.
Hello, if there's anyone listening, you should know cigarette butts are litter. Every day, thousands, millions are dropped on the floor and people don't actually realise that is littering. The duck is not happy. It wants you to bin your butts. Please, for the love of... bin your butts.
Cigarette butts are rubbish. If you smoke, bin your butts. Keep Britain tidy.
All the pump-up kicks that count.
It's a stunner!
Women's Euros. Live on Talksport.
It could be the first ever year that England win a trophy on foreign soil, an England senior team. And the reigning European champions are about to get off and underway at Euro 2025. And England down the right with James in the area, straight away! And she's hammered it over the top from a really good position inside the penalty area. Plays a low ball and Lauren Hempis free! Saved by the goalkeeper and poked it on the rebound! It is Alessia Rousseau! The referee is signalling here that it is ruled out for an offside in the build-up. France on the counter straight away. Cascarino in behind down the right. Drills it across. Katoto! 1-0 to France. Beyond Williamson. Baltimore with a shot. And France have scored again. And England are all over the place.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Shambles as the first half wore on. England 2 down. Big work to do. Second half is coming up live here in Zurich on Talksport. You're listening to Women's Euro 2025 live on Talksport with McDonald's. Try the new Big Arch now. Club World Cup quarter final. PSG made it through earlier, live on Talksport. And the last quarter final is, I think it's just got underway. Ian Abrahams.
Yeah, they'll play the winner of Real Madrid against Borussia Dortmund. Real Madrid are unchanged. Courtois in goal, Rudiger, Tchouameni and Howson across the back. Alexander-Arnold, Bellingham, Valverde, Güler and Fran Garcia with Gonzalo Garcia and Vinicius Junior up front and Mbappe again on the bench. As for Dortmund, Kobel's in goal, Sule Anton and Bessibani at the back. Rice and Gross, Sabitzer comes in for Nemecha and Brand for Joe Bellingham who's suspended. Svensson the other midfielder, Garassi and Adiemi up front. We played for 3 minutes in the MetLife Stadium in New Jersey, and it's Real Madrid 0, Borussia Dortmund 0.
When this game is done here in Zurich, it's a full-time phone-in on the Lionesses with Darren Bent and the former England midfielder Jordan Nobbs, who was in the squad, the England squad that got to the World Cup final a couple of years ago. Darren Bent, I'm fascinated to find out what you made of that first half.
Yeah, and good evening. I thought they started off really well, England, moving the ball. Lauren James for the first 15-20 minutes was absolutely outstanding. I agree with you, Aid. I thought it was a goal with a VAR decision. I've looked at that replay, I don't know how many times. I don't think there's an offside there, so I think England have been robbed of a result. But the last 15-20 minutes, I think France have been the better side and rightly a 2-0 up.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, England have got massive problems. Defensively in that first half, they don't look like they can retain the European Championships.
Well, it looks like there's a real lack of pace. I think when France go forward in their numbers and certainly the way that they're set up, they're really, really wide, they're really high. But it just looks like every single time the ball goes in behind the England fullbacks, there's no recovery pace, no one that can get back. And I felt a little bit sorry for the second goal with Leah Williamson because the first goal, because she's 1v1. She's almost got the whole box to herself. She doesn't quite know where the attacker is. It's really, really good movement and a really good finish. But England have got some big problems this second half.
Yeah, they have. And it's Lauren James, you're right. I think they were scared of her. And then suddenly they sussed out how they could get forward, France. I think it was clever game management from their coach. And listen, the England players are on the way back out. So Darren, we'll leave it there. But you're doing the phone in with Jordan Nobbs afterwards, yeah?
I am indeed, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, can't wait. We'll be listening to that over here in Zurich. It's the usual number, and there's plenty to talk about already. 03717 223344. Tash Dowie, Darren mentioning the offside, not offside. We've had a close look at a couple of stills. I still can't see an offside there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the pictures say it all. So England should have been 1-0 up. But right now they're not in that position. They're 2-0 down. Doesn't look like any changes. I was looking at half-time as well. None of the players looked like they were really warming up with any energy, which in my opinion surprises me. But we do know Sarina Wiegman. She trusts her players. She doesn't often make changes, and maybe she feels like they deserve at least 5-10 minutes to put things right.
Just very briefly on what we talked about before the game. Finishing second in the table isn't the end of the world, but a defeat here could damage confidence, couldn't it?
Absolutely. Finishing second's fine, but finishing second, performing well. You don't want to have a poor performance and then take that into the next game against a very strong Netherlands team.
Well, they're 2-0 down. England's the European champions, and they've got a bit to prove in this second half. It is England 0, France 2, second half, live from Zurich on Talksport with Tash Dowie and Joe Shannon.
And confirmation of no England changes, which in itself is arguably a talking point, but as Tash was saying, Sarina Wiegman rarely makes those kinds of decisions. You can barely think of an example, certainly at a major tournament, where Sarina Wiegman has decided to make changes early. England have had slow starts at recent major tournaments in terms of first games, but this is the slowest of them all. Though the last team to win at the Euros when going 2 goals down was England against Russia in 2009, albeit that day all the goals came in the first half. Here, the Lionesses need a second half recovery, as do the thousands of fans who've travelled here to Zurich. The defending champions are 2-0 down, and France will get the second half underway. From right to left towards their end of the ground, France, dark blue shirts and shorts, red socks, and England, white shirts, royal blue shorts, and white socks. England will play from left to right, and finally, after a short delay, the second half begins. Live on Talksport, have England got it in them to fight back in their opening game of the tournament? D'Almeida from the right-back position for France has given it away. England win it back. So England with Hampton in goal. No half-time changes. Bronze, Williamson, Greenwood and Carter, Walsh and Stanway, Mead, James and Hemp in support of Rousseau up front. I'll give you the French team in just a moment. England have it with Lucy Bronze in the right-back position. 2 goals in 3 minutes late in the first half for France after England had a goal of their own, as you've been hearing, somewhat controversially ruled out for offside after a VAR check. It's about the tightest offside I've ever seen looking back. England are just keeping the ball at the start of the second 45 with the skies and now dark. The sun has long since set and the floodlights beating down onto the pitch here in the northwest of Switzerland. The French have Perrault Magnon in goal, D'Almeida, Lacroix, Sombat and Basha, Karshawi, Jean-Francois and Guillaume. Baltimore and Katoto, the 2 goal scorers, alongside the very dangerous Cascarino up front. It's a floated ball downfield by Williamson. Well controlled by Hemp, I thought, but the referee's given handball. France 2, England 0. 90 seconds into the second half. Here's the former England striker, Tash Dowie.
Yeah, well, straight away it's better. We talk about they haven't done anything exciting yet, but I talk about connecting passes. Actually trying to manage momentum, dictate the play. And I think that was key because it was so sloppy towards the end of the first half. So I like that. And what I loved as well, Rousseau from kickoff, straight away pressing, gets a ball to the face, gets up, goes and presses again, wins a throw-in. We have to see more of that.
Headed away by Lucy Bronze in the right-back position. Heavy touch by Beth Mead, who is on a good run of form coming into this tournament. 3 goals in her last 4 England caps. Scored last Sunday in the 7-0 win over Jamaica in the warm-up game, but hasn't really got hold of anything at all tonight.
And as a player as well, when this happens and Beth Mead, that it's been a poor game, you have to say to yourself, right, next touch has to be good, next pass, I have to connect it. Don't overcomplicate it and then build yourself back into the game.
Got Tash Dowie in the commentary box, Courtney Sweetman-Coke behind the goal. 2 former strikers, enough for a pretty good England media 5-a-side team, so I hear.
I cannot wait. Golden boot coming my way.
Well, we hope there's as much hope for the Lionesses. who are on the back foot. 2-0 down after the first half against the French, who are on a great winning run. Stanway in the centre circle for England, to Russo. Back to Kira Walsh. There's a better precision about England early on in the second half. Williamson forward towards Stanway, smuggled away by Karshawi. And the French have started the second half actually quite deep. England playing from left to right towards the England end of the ground. Hemp jinks in field from the left, plays it back to Walsh again. Plenty of dark blue France shirts behind the ball as England come forward. Their next game against Netherlands next Wednesday at 5, live on Talksport. Going to be a must-win game as it stands. The Dutch, who beat Wales in their first game in Group D earlier. Given away by Mead yet again, but she's won it back off Karshawi. Oh, and she's been penalised by the referee, who thinks that's a free kick. I think that's really harsh.
It is harsh. It is harsh, but I've got to again go back to her giving the ball away in the first place. Again, under no pressure, looks to do the 1-2 at bronze, mislays the pass. Good reactions from her to go and win it back, and it's not a foul, but has to tidy up.
Not often, Tash, that you see Sarina Wiegman really losing her cool with a match official, but she was straight out of her seat in the dugout, which is at the base of the lower tier here, right in front of us, wagging her finger at the fourth official. There's no contact at all from Mead on Karshawi there.
No, and that's where I sometimes worry about the women's game. A little bit more diving, which never used to be the case back in the day. I don't like to see that.
Here come England down the right with Russo. Smuggled out to play by Sombat, who's impressed tonight for France, just her 5th French cap. England have got players warming up on the near side touchline, and Chloe Kelly is one of them. Ella Toon as well. Russo with her back to goal has held it up, plays the ball back to Walsh, who's given it away, and Guillaume has steered the ball for France into the path of De Almeida, who can race forward at pace. The fullback over the halfway line now. England have got players back, but De Almeida's run 50 yards and then hit a very strange shot that was going well wide anyway. Hannah Hampton's actually controlled that with her foot. France 2, England 0. This is Talksport.
Yeah, crazy decision there by the fullback. You know, a great dribble and drive, but you're never scoring from there. Yeah, I think she got a little bit too excited and the French manager's not happy at all.
Well, the ball is back with the goalkeeper, Hampton, who clears downfield. And England have conceded a free kick on the halfway line. It is France 2, England 0. Let's take you to the Club World Cup quarter-final between Real Madrid and Borussia Dortmund. There's been a goal, Ian Abrahams.
Real Madrid 1, Borussia Dortmund 0. Arda Güler's ball in left-hand side for Gonzalo Garcia to score his 4th goal of the tournament, volleying in from 6 yards out. The game's on Talksport 2. Real Madrid 1, Borussia Dortmund 0.
Thanks, Ian. And yet, just download the Talksport app to be across all of the action from not just the Women's Euros, but the Club World Cup. And, of course, the Premier League and the EFL seasons at the start of August. We are your home of live football. Here come France on the right-hand side. A third goal might kill England off here. De Almeida inside the penalty area, left-footed shot into the side netting. Hampton had it covered. It was swept into the side netting on a weaker foot by De Almeida, and it's a goal kick to England.
Yeah, it's a tough position right now for England because they have to get the next goal. Absolutely have to. So they have to get numbers forward, be a little bit more positive, and that's perfect for France. 2-0 up. They're a team that like to hit England on the counter-attack. So this is, you know, it's cat and mouse here, and I'm fascinated to see how it plays out. England have to be brave, but on the flip side, they have to be aware and not concede a third.
Here is Lauren Head down the left for England, into the penalty area, low ball to Russo. Good first touch, out comes the goalkeeper, and Russo couldn't quite get it under control in the end. Lacroix is there to sweep it away for the French. Good effort from Russo running at it, but England can't carve out the opportunity to get themselves back into the game yet.
Yeah, I think her touch has to be better, Joe, if I'm being honest. She's had a great game. She's been so tidy in and around the box, but I think her touch let her down there.
And now Mead in a stretch has poked the ball away from the France penalty area. She has raced back to win it back off Karshawi. It looks like England's levels have gone up 10-15% from the latter part of the first half. It just feels like there's a bit more intensity about the Lionesses here. James beyond 2 in dark blue, but not beyond the third defender in Selma Basher, who stands up firmly to win it back. And France with Karshawi back to Basher again in the left back position as Jean-Francois is under pressure from James here, who's forced her into a defensive area, but James has bundled her over. It's a France free kick. Let's go back behind the goal to the right-hand side. The France goal for the second half, of course, and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk, our England reporter, is on the running track, watching things happening in front of her and Courtney. Are there England changes imminent, I wonder?
I do wonder, because we've got Niamh Charles-Alatoon and Chloe Kelly to my left, warming up what seems to be quite purposefully to me. Sometimes, obviously, you go out every 12 or 15 minutes, that's normally the done thing, and you go out and keep warm, but they're actually out with the strength and conditioning coach as well, telling them what to do in terms of getting the sprints in. It's not just go and jog down the running track and keep yourself warm. So I think changes could well be imminent, Joe.
Well, we will see. No sign that anybody's getting stripped and ready to go just yet for England, but those warm-ups have been carrying on for some time. Is Sarina Wiegman thinking about substitutions? Mina's giving it away. Katoto through the middle, and Gioro is onto it, and Hampton has let it squirm through her grasp, but has grabbed the ball just before it crosses the line. That was a terrible pass from Beth Mead, and the French went through England like a knife through butter, and it was nearly 3. It should have been 3.
It should have been 3. Beth Mead's having a really tough night, and I don't like to highlight players, but I think it's quite obvious that she's having a tough night. And again, 5 minutes ago, what did I say? When you're having a bad game, get back to basics, connect your first pass, and she just doesn't seem to be able to do that, and she nearly cost England there, and that could have been game done and dusted.
England have not tested Pedro Magnon, the French goalkeeper, really at all. Of course, there was the disallowed goal in the first half, but it was still 0-0, and there'll be a lot of discussion about that. But England have not had a meaningful effort on target. We're now 55 minutes in to the opening game, and of course they're in a situation here, England, where a France third goal, Tash, kills this off.
Yeah, and there's no coincidence now why Chloe Kelly's getting spoken to.
Here goes Baltimore raiding down the left-hand side, left corner of the penalty area for France, deep ball into the back post, and that is overhit for once from Baltimore. Goal kick.
And I think the big question coming into this as well is, would Mead or Kelly play? Kelly was almost playing over Mead at Arsenal. In the Champions League final, finished the season really strong. And it was a big call by Sarina Wiegman. She trusts Mead. She's had great games under her internationally and is a top goal scorer, but she really has struggled today. Was that the right call? I'm not too sure it was.
Lots to talk about, whatever happens tonight. 03717 22344 for the full-time phone-in once we're done here in Zurich. Former England stars Darren Bent and Jordan Nobbs are taking your calls. This is Women's Euro 2025, live on Talksport with McDonald's. Try the new and iconic Big Arch. England back here on Wednesday night on Talksport against the Netherlands, and then to St Gallen to play Wales in the final 2 group games. You look at it and you think, because the Dutch have won handsomely today, England could well need 2 wins from 2. Mead out on the near side, the right. Forward pass infield to James on the underlap, and she wins England a corner.
Better, and again, Lauren James involved. She's been phenomenal tonight, she really has. Her energy for someone that's been out for so long. She's really got herself in a good shape. She looks fresh, full of energy, making those third-man runs, trying to make things happen, picking the ball up from deep, running with it. They need to get her more on the ball.
Stanway's going to take the corner. Lots of England aerial threats. Russo, Williamson, Greenwood and Bronze, who's really good in the air, scored a great header against Jamaica at the back post. Stanway and Hemper in front of the goalkeeper. Mead's corner, low along the ground to Hemper. France have switched off. Hemper from an angle shot is blocked. Cleared from in front of the post by Katoto. I think the goalkeeper probably would have saved it anyway. It was almost off the line as England win another corner.
Yeah, France have switched off there, and it's clever play by England. And Hemper actually needs to do better. She needs to shape it far post, just like Baltimore's goal. Now that's a huge opportunity to make it 2-1.
Third corner for England as we head towards the hour mark. They're 2-0 down in Zurich. Reverse ball by Hemp, gives it away to Karshawi after Mead's short corner, and that's another wasted opportunity for England. Some of England's top players who have absolutely delivered at the highest level before. When you're talking Lauren Hemp and Beth Mead, you're talking England legends. But they have just not delivered tonight, Tash Down.
No, they haven't. And you know what? We all have those games sometimes. You have an off game. They're not robots. They're not perfect. But what I think I've been a little bit disappointed in is actually the teammates then helping them out. A little arm around the shoulder. A teammate then backing you up a bit more. I haven't seen enough of that. I think people have just been left to hang and dry and to suffer.
A lot of questions for England coming into the tournament and across the night, and so far, precious few answers, aside from an impressive opening 20 minutes or so. France on the attack again with Baltimore down the left-hand side. She is really dangerous in a one-on-one against Bronze, and Bronze is isolated here, but Baltimore's in no hurry, holds the play up and steers the ball back to Basher, right in front of the France dugout. The head coach Bonnaday with his arms folded on the near side touchline. He is going to get off to a winning start as it stands, and he's had a great run since taking charge of the France national team. Out on the left-hand side is Baltimore again, once more isolating Bronze in a one-on-one, and she's played the underlapping ball to Karshawi right across the face of goal. If there'd been a France player there, it would have been the simplest of tap-ins.
It's stunning. It's absolutely stunning play. And meant slow play, slow passes, little 1-2, draw them in, quick runs in behind, pace, and then the change of pace was absolutely frightening.
We think there are changes on the way for England, but France are in again. Cascarino's cross gathered by Hampton at the near post. Right, here come 3 England changes. Niamh Charles, Ella Toone and Chloe Kelly. Toone and Kelly in particular, 2 of England's greats in this greatest England senior team generation. And the substitutions are on the way very shortly. England have it at the moment with Mead over the top down the right for James to chase in a foot race with the defender Sombat, who comes across, pokes it out of play. Let's get news of another goal at the Club World Cup with Ian Abrahams.
21 gone, Real Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 0. Trent Alexander-Arnold's low ball in, converted by Fran Garcia. Both Garcias have scored. The game's live on Talksport 2, Real Madrid 2, Borussia Dortmund 0.
Thanks, Moose. Off goes Carter. On comes Niamh Charles, straight swap. Lauren James does leave the field. Maybe not a great surprise, even though she has been one of England's better attacking players because she's not played a lot of football. On comes Ella Toone, who might feel she should have started tonight. And the other change is expected, Kelly for Mead, Tash.
Yeah, and this is where... I'm not saying I told you so, but I would have preferred to have seen James come on. I don't want to see James come off when we need her. This is when we need her the most to get back into the game, and she was phenomenal. There's nothing more she could have done, but maybe that's where Serena, looking back, would she prefer to have been bringing on a Lauren James right now rather than taking her off 2-0 down.
Here is Chloe Kelly with her first touch, ball into the near post, blocked by Basher. There were appeals for handball from some of the England fans in front of us, and the assistant put her flag up there. Not exactly sure why. It has gone out of play. There'll be a France foe just shy of the halfway line. Be interesting to see that back again on our monitor.
Yeah, this assistant down here on our side hasn't been very clear. She's put her flag up, and it's obviously for an offside, but she just hasn't been very clear with that. I was thinking, is it a penalty with the hand? So it wasn't offside, that's why she put the flag up.
An hour gone. France 2, the Lionesses 0. And France are going to make a triple change here. Would you believe it? I wonder whether the England fans, Tash, are thinking that why didn't the England changes come at half-time? Why wait 15 minutes? That's the all-time question for all coaches, isn't it, I suppose?
Yeah, absolutely is. And the one person I didn't want to see coming on is Mallard, because there's a horrible stat that she has never lost when she's scored. And for her to come on now in a position where they're 2-0 up, Diani as well, it's quite frightening when we talk about depth of squads, and we have a very strong squad depth-wise, but to be able to bring these players on when you're 2-0 up, I think that says a lot. And this French team are definitely going to be there or thereabouts come the end of this tournament.
Well, it's Diani, Mallard of Manchester United, and Clara Matteo as well. They've changed the whole front three, the French. Off go Katoto and Baltimore, the 2 goal scorers, and Cascarino as well. First touch for Melvin Mallard. The number 9 into the penalty area with Williamson backing off. Mallard from the tight angle crosses it, hits Williamson, who's got to be careful here, and she stumbles in the penalty area, is fouled by Mallard, and that'll be a free kick to England away to the left-hand side. England have got to find a foothold from somewhere, but at the moment you can only see the Lionesses slipping to what would be a desperately disappointing opening night defeat.
Yeah, it's a big ask, it really is. I don't see where the goals are coming from at the moment. I don't see threats in behind. Yeah, so for me, I think it's going to be a big ask.
Well, all of the England reaction on Talksport and on our app as well. Courtney's bringing you all the latest from the England camp, and you can watch that on the Talksport app as well, as we bring you the news and the colour from Switzerland. Clearance away by De Almeida for France over the halfway line, and Greenwood will get there easily for England. Rolls the ball back a little unconvincingly towards Hampton, and there was a touch from Matteo, who's just come onto the pitch, the Paris forward. Player of the season in France for 24-25, Matteo. England have huffed and puffed, Tash, but we've not seen a great deal of difference. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I think started the first half very strong, started the second half livelier, but not enough big spells. No, you can't have spells for 5-10 minutes at this level. You have to be able to dominate and then punish. And reaction-wise, I would have liked to have seen more.
Surely for the game against the Dutch next Wednesday, live here on Talksport, especially if it stays like this, there are going to be changes for England. Out on the right is Diani, Matteo. Diani again down by the dead ball line. Across comes Greenwood to knock it clear. And France continue to look a threat. And France are making a statement of their own, of course. Never won a major tournament, maybe in the women's game. World football's great underachievers, but they're serving notice of their intent at Euro 2025. Karshawi chips the ball in from the right corner of the area. Header away by Lucy Bronze, back to Hampton.
Yeah, it's a great header. And I think the modern game now, pace is such a gift. You know, something I definitely didn't have. And I think when you look at this England team, yes, they can play attractive football. But plan B, is there a plan B? Can they mix it up when things aren't working? Whereas this French team, the pace that they have, even when things aren't going well, play a long ball, they've got threats in behind. England can't do that. I don't think they've got enough pace going forward.
Stanway looked lost in the middle of midfield there. Matteo dinks it across towards Malar and Diani. Goalkeeper's lost it, and it nearly was scrambled in. Cleared off the line by England. Georgia Stanway will steer the ball further away from danger. It's a France throw in the right wing position, and even Hannah Hampton, England's number one, has got real jitters here now.
Yeah, it's passing on, isn't it? And that's what happens in football. Players do bad passes, bad habits, and people then pass it on. You've got to have standings individually to be better.
De Almeida for France, down to the corner flag on that right-hand side. Diani jinks away from Charles momentarily. That'll be another France throw at the moment. It is France dominating in terms of territory, looking the more likely to create chances 20 minutes into the second half. And do the Lionesses believe they can turn this around? A draw at this point would be an outstanding result for England.
Do you know what I would have loved to have seen as well? And it's a brave call, but a change of formation maybe. Beaver Jones, get two up top. You know, this 4-3-3 hasn't worked. France have played it better. Man for man, they've been better today. So actually, let's mix it up a little bit. I know that's not Sarina Wiegman's style, and she has been successful. But what have you got to lose? You're 2-0 down, so if you're going to lose the game, go out, at least try it.
Tash Dowie, former England strikers with us. I imagine there'd be plenty who would agree with that. It was interesting reading Emma Hayes in the build-up in the press to tonight's game, and she basically said the same thing. I mean, obviously she's worked with Aggie Beever-Jones at Chelsea, but she was saying that Beever-Jones and Russo as a two was maybe the way England should think about going, but I don't think anybody is surprised by the 4-2-3-1 that England have started with. But in the situation that England may well find themselves in, they may need big changes rather than minor tweaks, because this is tournament football, and a first game group stage defeat was not on the agenda. Bronze on halfway as we head towards the midway point of the second half, and England still have not tested Pedro Manuel.
Yep, and I think again, that's the one thing that sometimes frustrates me with Sarina, is that she is a little bit fixated with who she wants to play, and then you can predict the subs that she's going to put on, rather than actually the players that are really in good form for club level. So again, I know I like to challenge her, but I just would love to see a Beaver Jones. I really would. I think she would change the game. Even a Jess Park, just to bring a little bit more energy.
No sign as yet. Charles on the left-hand side for England. Far side of the field. Steers the ball infield to Hemp, who turns with her back to goal. Hemp all left foot. Back to Walsh. And now the ball is out on the England right, the near side with Bronze. England have had actually nearly 60% of the possession in the game, but clear-cut chances, few and far between. Now, Grace Clinton is down below us and has been warming up for England. Here is Charles out on the left-hand side again. Lots of England fans here tonight. The majority of the crowd at the athletic-style stadium here in Zurich, but they will be very disappointed. We are into the final quarter of the game. as the ball is hooked out of play by De Almeida. England throw left wing position, and England needs something quickly if this is going to turn around.
Yeah, and you can't fault the attitude, especially Russo. Adrian said it at half-time. She's just run her socks off. And as a number 9 to do that when you're not getting the service, I think it says a lot about her as a player.
Tireless Russo. She's held it up with her back to goal here. Lays it backwards to Walsh. About 30 yards out. Crosses charged down by Karshawi. Williamson slides in, firm but fair. In that 50-50 with Karshawi. Both players have gone down. Both are hurt. On come the physios. I think Karshawi's probably come off worse. The two captains fully committed there.
Yeah, I actually didn't see much for Leah Williamson, and I didn't know whether or not she was staying down because she thought it was going to be a dangerous counter-attack. I mean, it's a tough tackle, but she hasn't hit her head there, so I'm not too sure why she's holding her head. You know, she's cleanly won it, and maybe she's thinking that France are going to break away, so holding her head, maybe when ref's going to obviously blow the whistle.
France 2, England 0. Karshawi's being treated. We can take you from the commentary box to pitch side. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk is behind the France goal, and Courtney, it's been way too quiet at that end of the pitch in this second half, I think.
Yeah, it really has, and want to echo what you've both said about Alessia Russo. It must be so frustrating. I think me and obviously Tash have been there in terms of playing in a game where you're not getting much service. She's had barely any, but her work rate, her attitude to try and get on the ball when she has had those opportunities to hold the ball up, set it back, play others into play, and obviously as well her defending from the front has been excellent. But you know, mentioning the depth of France as well, you know, you're taking the 3 best players off really, and then you bring in the likes of Diani on. Especially Diani is a player I love to watch. I always say she's like a cheat code. It's like watching a FIFA player. She's absolutely unbelievable on the ball, and you know, so far I know we've got 20 minutes left and things can change, but it doesn't look like from an England perspective they're any closer to scoring a goal. And I would love to see an Aggie Beever-Jones come on the pitch. And you spoke about maybe a little bit of lack of pace in that forward line. Well, I'll tell you what, she's got bags of pace, Aggie Beever-Jones, and most importantly, she knows where the back of the net is. And yeah, I wondered why those changes were waited a little bit to be made by Serena Wiegman, but now I'd try and get Aggie Beever-Jones on as soon as possible because she can make the difference.
Well, that is Courtney Sweetman-Kirk behind the goal tonight for us, and Courtney's going to speak to Serena Wiegman at the end of the game. There was a potential red card check, I think because Karshawi caught Williamson so late flying in. Williamson got to the ball, the check was quickly completed. England have got the ball back now, and they're on the attack with Kelly. 2-0 down, 20 to go. Kelly's delivery to the back post. Lauren Hemp is there, but she can't get contact on it. Pretty good defending from De Almeida.
Beautiful ball. Absolutely beautiful ball, and this is where Chloe Kelly is a little bit different. Beth Mead wants to combine. She's more of a kind of wide number 9 that likes to drift in. Chloe Kelly gets half a yard, she whips balls in, and Russo has to try and get the end of that. She's not on the end of that. Lauren Hemp's strength isn't in the air, so you don't expect her to win that in the head. But as soon as Chloe gets the ball, players need to start making runs into the box, because as a number 9, you know you're going to get a chance when she's on the ball.
Mexican wave going around the stadium again. It feels strange given the England performance and the game itself. There are some glum faces among the England fans too. Still Real Madrid 2, Dortmund 0 in the Club World Cup quarter-final. That's live on Talksport 2 right now. Well, our coverage of the Club World Cup will continue throughout the rest of the tournament. Chelsea with us today in the quarters, as were PSG. Wales 0, Netherlands 3. It finished on Talksport 2 in England's group. England face the Dutch here on Wednesday on Talksport. And England are going to go into that game having lost their opener as it stands. Toon, England's number 10, scored twice in the warm-up match, overlooked from the start tonight. England can't work an attack. Back it goes to Pedro Manuel who clears.
Oh, it's just so frustrating because we have spells where I think, okay, we're building into the game, but throughout the whole 90 minutes or, you know, so far 71 minutes, safe side passing, you know, even there, Niamh Charles playing the ball where the defender isn't, but we don't. We do it where the defender's got half a chance to win it, and that's been throughout the whole game.
Russo worked so hard to try and win the ball back and then had so little in terms of options around her, and she's actually conceded a free kick here. And England, unless there is a very unexpected upturn, just do not look like getting back into this.
No, I don't know what it is. I don't know whether it's tired legs. You know, a lot of these players have had long seasons, but so have the French players. I don't know whether it's the heat. A lot of these players aren't used to playing this heat, maybe compared to the French players. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a bad day at the office. but unfortunately it really has been a poor 70 minutes. You could say they've had maybe 20, 25 minutes of decent football, but not enough if we're going to go on and retain this title.
That's the thoughts of the former England striker Tash Dowie, with the Lionesses labouring. France on the attack. Matteo prods the ball to the left. Mallard, the tall striker, with great technique, sets up Karshawi on the underlap, and the cross to the back post reaches Diani, who almost plucked that out of the air, but not quite. It has gone behind for a goal kick.
You know what's been so impressive as well is the pace of the way this French team attacks. You know, the combinations, the freedom to be able to move and go where you want. I've been really impressed with that.
Lauren Hemp out on the England left, one-on-one with De Almeida. France defending very diligently, and Hemp has run into nowhere really, but England won it back momentarily with Charles, who then can't find Hemp with the pass, and Charles is not very quick to get back. Here come France on the counter-attack now. Out on the right-hand side is Matteo, taking on Greenwood down the French right, Diani in the middle, Mallard as well, and Matteo has turned Alex Greenwood and raced to the dead ball line. Matteo delivers, the cross is headed away by a stooping Charles, who now has got back. Remember Euro 2022, this has been nothing like it to start the 2025 tournament from England.
What it looks like as well to me, Joe, and it feels like France have 22 players almost on the pitch. They're first to everything, they're second to everything, and then when we win the ball back, players are isolated. Here you go, have the ball, try and do something with it. Whereas when this French are on the ball, there's triangles, they're popping it around, there's options, they're having fun. And yes, they're 2-0 up, so they have the freedom to do that. But England are normally so much better than this.
The crowd are more focused on the Mexican waves than the match. 03717 223344. The full-time phone-in comes next on Talksport with Darren Benton, Jordan Nobbs taking your calls in the studio. It'll be fascinating to hear from Serena Wiegmann. England's poorest tournament performance under Wiegmann, I would say, with Grace Clinton getting ready to come on. Back it goes to Karshawi. Now Mallard back to goal. Plays the ball backwards to the feet of Basha. And France are just cleaner than England, really, as the slide tackle comes in from Toon, and she is booked for a foul on Basha.
Yeah, frustration. I think that says it all. The players are frustrated. They're frustrated that they haven't been able to come on and have the impact. They're frustrated that the French are showboating. She's close to getting it, but she's just a little bit short. And it is a foul. You could say maybe the French have done those as well, so maybe the referee owed us one as well. But yeah, it is frustration. It's been a really poor game. The players that have come on want to have an impact and they can't. The French are showboating. It's very comfortable, and it looks as if England will go on to lose this game.
With just 15 minutes to go. And the Lionesses 2-0 down, and the French buoyant and playing towards the end where the France fans are housed, and all of the usual French flags behind the goal, blue, white and red. Basha is standing over the free kick for France. Remember, really good left foot, and they've sent plenty forward here. And France. Basha drills the free kick in high to the back post, only half away. De Almeida on the body, cushions it back to Jean-Francois, and the ball cleared away by Bronze in front of goal. De Almeida down the right-hand side again. Crosses, is looping to the back post, headed down and wide by Diani. Well, she should have scored.
Yeah, she should have scored. For her quality, she absolutely should have scored. And again, we're talking about it. 1, 2, 3, 4 boxes in the box. The desire. They're 2-0 up, and they're getting 4 boxes into the box, which is probably more than what England have done, and they're 2-0 down.
Off goes Georgia Stanway. On comes Grace Clinton of Manchester United for her major tournament debut. And Stanway, again, a terrific and England great for what she's done for the Lionesses, but they're underperforming tonight.
Yeah, and Clinton coming on, you could say, 15 minutes, I'm saying the game's done and dusted, but it's not. You know, one opportunity, they're back in it. 15 minutes is a long time, plus obviously stoppage time. Clinton's someone that she'll put her foot in. That physicality that I think we've missed in that midfield, I think we've been bullied, if I'm being completely honest, and Clinton does have that physicality that we need.
Well, the ball is on the halfway line, and France will have it with Basha, who's going to take her time in taking the throw. Still no threat to the France goal, really. Flicked by Matteo, gets it back from Mallard. Matteo raiding down the left-hand side. They all look in sync, the French their front three. Good block tackle by Williamson to get it back for England, and the captain hoists the ball high downfield towards Rousseau, beaten in the air. Karshawi then for France, prods the ball to the edge of the penalty area. Mallard with her back to goal, looks really tricky and nippy. The forward for France holds it up nicely, rolls it back to Basha. This has been an excellent performance from France. Basha from the left wing position crosses. Back post is Diani. Headed away. Bounced down towards Hemp. There were appeals from the France fans for handball against Lauren Hemp, who's cleared upfield towards the halfway line. England try to win it back through Clinton, but she can't hold it up.
Yeah, they just look quicker all over, if I'm being honest. And you can't fault England's efforts. Clinton's running, she's trying to get there. But the French players, player for player, they're quicker today. They're sharper today.
Well, with a major tournament, if that is the case, then questions have got to be asked. And it is a major tournament performance, the like of which we haven't really seen from England under Sarina Wiegman. There were a couple of certainly nervy matches at the World Cup in 2023, but of course England went all the way to the final. At the moment, the goal is going to be getting out of the group stages.
And I think as a player, when you look back at your career, moments like this is where you learn. And I know it sounds cliche, but you learn your best moments through these tough times. And luckily for England, they're not going out, okay? So a lot of lessons can be learned and they can put it right. And I expect a massive response. I really do. I think we all know this England team now. We know Sarina Wiegman. I expect a big response against the Netherlands.
Next Wednesday on Talksport, Wales on the Sunday. We'll go to St Gallen. And hopefully that won't be the end of the journey for England. Another couple of changes for France. They can afford to take off Di Almeida and the captain Karshawi. Here comes Melween Ndongala, who only made her France debut of late, and the much more experienced Sondi Toletti to just settle things down. She might even get the armband, I think, here, Toletti, from Karshawi, because she often captains the team. Remember, France have produced this performance without their regular skipper, Gridjum Bock, who is out injured. Interesting, isn't it, Tash, looking at some of the England players while there's this stoppage in the game. You know they're going to feel disappointed.
Yeah, it's silent, isn't it? I know players that are different. They lead in different ways, some by example, some by being vocal. I was always a player that I wanted to speak. I felt as if I wasn't speaking, I wasn't having an impact. So when I look there and I don't see people talking and communicating and trying to problem solve, it disappoints me a little bit, because you are 2-0 down with 10 minutes to go. You've still got plenty of time to get back in this game.
Well, the frustration continues for the England supporters who have backed their team. Here come France on the attack. Racing down the middle is Mallard, trying to beat Bronze to the ball, and a back pass from Bronze that was so under-hit. Hampton's done well to clear that away. It looks as though Bronze was going to give it straight to Mallard, who, had she got onto it, would have scored. And 10 minutes to go, but it really feels like now for the Lionesses it's about avoiding conceding further goals.
I mean, if Lucy Bronze meant that back pass, she is one brave girl, because that could have easily gone very wrong, could have been an own goal. So actually for Hannah Hampton to be able to react so quickly and actually clear that, credit to her, because I would be very angry if someone was passing the ball back to me in that position.
22,500 here tonight, a sellout crowd in Zurich as Williamson sweeps the ball away, high up into the dark night sky for England. 9 minutes left. France 2, England 0. I mean, in terms of where England go for the Netherlands game, you really do wonder whether there will be 2, 3, 4 changes to the lineup.
Probably not, knowing Sarina. Probably not. You know, it'd be a question of, you know, going through the game, working on things they did wrong, and then trusting the players that she normally trusts. Yes, there probably will be maybe 1, 2, but not a lot. She doesn't do that, so I don't see that happening.
Beaver Jones and Adjumang warming up as well. Rousseau can't hold the ball up again on halfway. Has she won a free kick here, Alessia Rousseau? She's actually gone down holding her head, so the referee stopped it in that tussle, that latest tussle with Lacra.
Well, I tell you what as well, we talked about Laurent Bonnedet and how brave he was to leave out Les Sommer, France's all-time leading top goal scorer, Wendy Renard, in my opinion, the best centre-half in the women's game still. But it's working. You know, he's under a lot of scrutiny. Would it work? And so far, against probably one of the best teams in the tournament, except for France, they've looked a very strong team.
Well, remember, as Adrian was saying before the game, what a convincing victory it was for Spain. Germany straightforward against Poland. although they did lose their captain, Julia Gwynn, to a tournament-ending injury. And the Dutch, who were expected to be up there, 3-0 winners over Wales in England's group. Of course, England had by far the toughest assignment of any of those teams tonight, but while there are still 2 games to go and there is still time to turn it around, this is a very concerning start.
And pressure's on, because if the Dutch team have watched this game tonight, which I'm sure they have, they'll be fancying their chances, and England have to win that game. So huge pressure on them now going into that second game.
England with Walsh, who is slow to react to the ball in the right wing position. Matteo tracking back now to win it for France, and Guillaume is fouled by Clinton late with the challenge. Free kick to the French. Now 7 minutes plus added time remaining, with the full-time phone-in coming once we are done here, and you'll hear from Sarina Wiegman as well. I wonder whether Michelle Adjemang is going to get some minutes at the end of this. She's only ever played 1 England game, scored less than a minute after coming on with a brilliant goal. Are England going to throw her on here at the start of Euro 2025? It feels like that might be the case. England free kick inside their own half.
Well, my question is 5 minutes. What do you expect her to do in 5 minutes? You know, if you are going to put her on, that's a big ask. I mean, it's great to see her get another cap, but why not put her on earlier? Be braver with that decision.
And Greenwood to Charles in the left-back position, far side for England. Adjemang, I think, is getting ready to come on. Charles has gone back to Greenwood. And Beaver Jones has been called over as well, but looks like Adjemang, or what will be her second England cap, and a landmark moment for her, whatever happens tonight in terms of the score. Bronze square to Walsh, just shy of the centre circle. Back to Leah Williamson. Only 19 years of age, Arsenal's Adjemang. Great diagonal ball by Walsh, out towards the left. That is just too much for Charles to keep in play. Good idea, but England remain without a shot on target.
Wow. I mean, when's the last time we've ever seen that or heard of that? Yeah, very unlike England. And especially at major tournaments. We talked about the form coming into it has been a little bit hit and miss. We were a bit concerned about that. But whenever it's come to major tournaments, World Cups, Euros, they've always performed. And sadly today, we talked about them building into tournaments. They couldn't. They can't build into this tournament. They had to hit the ground running, and they haven't today.
Walsh back to Bronze on the halfway line. England still waiting to make the change. Bronze surges forward to the midway point of the French half, and she's beyond Toletti, but the pass is cleared away by the newly arrived France sub Ndongala. England have got it back with Greenwood. There's a giant French flag being waved away to the left-hand side behind the goal. Hemp can't control in her chest for England, but Lee Charles can dart forward. And now Hemp away on the far side. Russo in the middle. Cross towards Toon on the volley. Blocked. Now Lee Charles inside the penalty area. Toon again. Wriggles away and shoots. And it's wide. VAR deflection for the corner. England nearly back in it in the 86th minute.
Big chance. Massive chance. I don't think Toon could do more there. She hit it cleanly, and it's great defending there by the centre half. And that's what French have done again. Bodies on the line. But this is better by England. You know, can we last 5 minutes really go for it?
Right, off goes Alex Greenwood, and on comes Adjemang, so that is very much an attacking change. Adjemang with her physical presence and finishing prowess as well. And she's gone right into the middle of the penalty area. France have brought everybody back. England 2-0 down on Talksport with 4 to play. Chloe Kelly drills in the corner. Adjemang is up, headed away to the edge of the box, and the curling shot is in! England are back in it after all! What a goal from Keira Walsh! And is there late hope for the Lionesses in Zurich? Walsh placed to perfection for her first major tournament goal. France 2, England 1.
I mean, what a way to get your second international goal. You know, in my opinion, she doesn't score enough for England, but when it matters, Adjemang making a presence of herself, and that is a wonderful goal. Very little backlift. You see here, no backlift in fact. Can the keeper do better in my opinion? Yes, but it doesn't matter. Game on, England are back in it, and this is going to be one hell of a last 10 minutes with stoppage time.
Keira Magnon got a hand to it, couldn't keep it out. 2-1, here we go. 3 minutes plus added time to go. Can England steal an unlikely point? Adjemang is offside, France free kick.
I mean, the way the game can just change. How France can be so comfortable, 2-0 up, showboating. Didn't look like anything else. Now, I tell you what, the France, squeaky bum time, they'll be wanting to get it into the corner and try and time waste now. Again, what they're doing now, disrupt England's momentum as much as they possibly can.
Courtney Sweetman-Kirk behind the goal. You saw it fly into the net. Is there hope for England now?
Yeah, of course there is. We've got a couple of minutes left. We've got whatever's added. Looking just at the formation now, they've gone to 3 at the back, England. The wing-backs of Lauren Hemp and Chloe Kelly, obviously wanting to get them forward, be more attacking. So, yeah, you've always got an opportunity. I agree, though. I think the keeper should do a little bit better. I think she gets caught on her heels, but you can tell now, Adjaman, she's come on. She's so fresh, wanting to impress. Got bags of pace, and it's going to be a tough few minutes. Obviously, like I say, we've got two or so minutes now, whatever's added on, and it's going to be back to the wall for France.
They do look nervy now, and the coach Bonaday is hopping up and down inside the technical area. Kira Walsh, who only scored her first England goal in April, that, as I say, her first at a major tournament. It is France 2, England 1. Slice clearance out of play by Charles, France throw.
Well, what a bit of pace does for you, and that's what Adjaman has. I talked about the lack of pace that England have, except for Hemp. But straight away, the presence, the physicality of her, being able to, when you're under pressure, lump the ball up front and to make something out of nothing.
So 2-1. 90 seconds of normal time to play in Zurich. Lauren Hemp is fouled. England free kick midway inside their own half of the field. Is there now going to be something of an England resurgence? It's begun, but have they left it too late? Bronze belts the ball long downfield. Over the top, headed on by Hemp. Adjaman will chase it. Adjaman back to goal. Hemp trying to wriggle into the area. Adjaman does. Weaving feet. Back to the edge of the box. Turning is Clinton now for England. Plays it back to the goal scorer Walsh. Suddenly England are capped inside the France half. Adjaman has held it up again, looking lively. She's rolled the ball wide to the near side. Toon was slow. Kelly, though, did react, and England keep the ball. France are dropping deep into the last minute of normal time. Punt long into the area. Adjaman goes up, headed away. Clinton, edge of the D, turns and shoots. Oh, it's hit the France defender. Now Hemp on the volley, and Adjaman is there. Turned away by Sombats. Oh, it was so nearly 2-2. Adjaman on a major tournament debut.
Wow, what an impact she has had. Within literally being on the pitch for 2 minutes, she has got the whole crowd up on their feet applauding her. Credit to her. She really has made something happen in this last minute and brought this game alive.
The teenager is causing chaos in the France box. And can England profit? We're hearing there'll be 5 added minutes at the end. Kelly's delivery from the corner, headed away at the near post. England 2-1 down into those 5 added minutes on Talksport. It's a photo finish. Russo with a floated cross. It's tipping onto the roof of the net. England were hoping for good fortune, but they didn't quite get it.
Yeah, that's a shame. You don't want to see Russo out on the wing anyway, full stop. So she's probably not used to kind of delivering those types of balls. You want to see her getting on the end of them, and that's a wasted opportunity. Really good pressure, bodies in the box, Adjaman in there with her height as well. But plenty of time. One more chance, that's all they need.
30 seconds through 5 added, and the goalkeeper taking her time. Pedro Magnon. And she gets the yellow card.
She wouldn't care.
Wasting.
She doesn't care. If it was the other way around, England would be doing exactly the same.
Pedro Magnon booked. The goalkeeper belts the ball downfield. Flicked on by France. Matteo out to Diani. The game is stretched. Diani to Matteo, right edge of the penalty area. Steers it across. Cleared away by Walsh at the back post. Keeps England alive. A minute through the 5 added at the end of the game. 2-1 down England, and they're on the defensive here. Pull back to Mallard. Hits her arm off her standing foot. Should be a free kick to England, and eventually it is given by the referee.
Yeah, that's a poor finish, and it's getting transitional now. Of course it is. France want to obviously get that third one and finish it off, but England are desperate to get that, and it is. It's a poor finish by Mallard. It's a massive chance. Bodies are forward. She swings at it, completely mishits it.
As we welcome listeners from Talksport 2, live across the Talksport network from the Women's Euros. France 2, England 1. And the defending champions are about to lose their first game of Euro 2025 here live inside the stadium in Zurich. But England are threatening. In stoppage time, they've got 3 minutes, just over 3 minutes, to save themselves a point. Cleared away by Sombath for France. France suddenly look jittery. England win it back. Leah Williamson, middle of the France half. She's run into traffic. Mallard is there, but Williamson pokes it square, does really well to find Walsh. Walsh out to the left-hand side, and England are on the attack again with Lauren Hemp. Back to Clinton. The ball has got to go forward for England, and they go back to Charles. We're nearly halfway through the 5 added. Is there one last chance for the Lionesses here?
Yeah, there absolutely is one last chance. It's just making the right decisions. Don't panic. Be patient. Create that opportunity.
Kelly thinks about sprinting in field in front of the England technical area. Now Toon takes up possession. Russo and Adjemang in the middle. It's belted forward, deflected to Russo. Back to goal. Alessia Russo holds it up and shoots. It could fall for Adjemang. It's cleared away by Lacroix. Thought it might drop to an England shirt, but it didn't.
It's so hectic. And they're booing, and the ref shouldn't stop it because it's not a head injury, it's cheating. She's gone down knowing that they're under pressure here, so this shouldn't be allowed.
Jean-Francois on the edge of the penalty area, and we can watch the incident again on our monitor, and it's absolutely not a head injury in any way whatsoever.
I don't like to see that. That's something in the women's game that's never been there. So, I mean, she's saying it's cramp now, but you don't stop the game for cramp. This is a big moment for England. And my question is, why is it taking an 18-year-old kid to come on and change the game? That's the frustrating thing. If she can do that and she can bring that energy, why can't all the other players that are more experienced than her?
Well, Jean-Francois still on the ground, and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk was right behind the goal. Our England reporter, she's let us know that the Chelsea player looked up to see where the ball was and then held her head. And actually, should a good referee see that anyway? They
absolutely should, and probably book her for it if that was me.
Don't think it's been great, the officiating tonight, but it's a side issue ultimately. 03717 223344. Lines open very shortly for the full-time phone-in on Talksport. It looks like England are slipping to defeat. They've got a minute to go. England have played well for the first maybe 20, and then the last 3 of normal time plus added time. Leah Williamson, long into the area for England. Everybody's forward. Adjemang is jumping. It's flicked on towards Russo. Goalkeeper flaps it in, and it's off the line by Basher to deny Hemp. Oh, England nearly scored the equaliser in the last few seconds. The chance is still on. Charles on the left, infield to Walsh. England desperate for a goal here. Desperate for salvation in Switzerland right at the end. Long again from Williamson, pumped into the box. Basher's there again to clear away for France. We're still 2-1 up. Now it's Lucy Bronze. Last 10 seconds, this is it. On the night at least for England. Delivered in by Bronze. Paul Cross cleared away at the near post by Jean-Francois. Bronze jumping again. The flick by Clinton. Adjemang making a muscle out of it. And then Clinton shoots. It's over the top. It's onto the running track. That's probably that for tonight.
Well, what we've learned from this game is Adjemang is not just going to be a wild card. She's going to have an impact in this tournament, because what she has done in 5 minutes, when I said, why are you bringing her on with 5 minutes? What kind of an impact can she do in 5 minutes? Well, she's pretty much created a goal and caused havoc for that time.
Pero Magnon will clear downfield. We've had the 5 minutes of added time. Header away by Williamson. Thumped forward by Basher of France. 2-1 they lead. And that is right into the corner, where England will have a throw, but they've barely got time to get the ball forward. And France have blocked off Hampton, so Charles can't go there. Charles, the England left back. All eyes on the referee, Tess Olofsson. It will be an historic victory for France to start their campaign. It'll put them in a brilliant position to potentially win the group. But England are not done just yet. Walsh over halfway, Hemp racing to meet it, away by Lacroix. And now the ball has dropped for Matteo, square to Guioro. Lucy Bronze wins it back for England. Where was this urgency earlier from the England team? Toon gives it away. On the halfway line, it's come back to Basher of France again. And Laurent Bonnetet, the head coach, is saying, go for the corner flag. A dramatic ending to a game that actually very much looked like it was petering out. Is there time for one last England attack? Long ball downfield by Toon towards Adjemang. She's held it up again. She's done really well. She's laid it wide left to Hemp, who's beaten to it by Ndongwala. Goes down, no free kick. England play on with Clinton. And the referee has had a look at her watch. Is this it for England? It is. The game is over. And England's title defence begins with a damaging defeat in Zurich, and arguably their worst major tournament display under Sarina Wiegman. The road to more Euros glory has just got much, much tougher. The England fans booing the officials at the end. They felt they could have had a free kick right at the end of added time on added time. But the Lionesses are beaten by France. A losing start in what many are calling the group of death. The first time a defending champion has ever lost the opening match of the following Euros. And while the defending champions have never failed to make it out of the group stages, already for England, this could be an uphill struggle. They were 2-0 down at half-time. Goals from Katoto and Baltimore for the French, after England had earlier had an Alessia Russo goal ruled out after the tightest of offside calls following a VAR check. Kira Walsh's first major tournament goal got them back in it late on, but it was too little too late, despite flashes of brilliance from the teenager Michelle Adjemang. Selma Basha's late clearance off the line proved to be England's last chance as she denied Lauren Hemp, and already all eyes on what realistically are two must-win group games to come against the Dutch and the Welsh for England. France 2, England 1.
Joe, thanks very much. Well, that was really disappointing, wasn't it? And here's the reality. Here's the harsh, stark reality. England lose to the Netherlands here on Wednesday, live on Talksport. It's pretty much game over. It'll be a miracle if Wales get anything from the France game. And Tash Dowie, pressure massively on the European champions.
Yeah, like there wasn't already enough pressure, but double that now. We knew there was going to be pressure. It's a tough group. There was huge pressure being holders, and we kind of did say whoever wins this, I think then goes on to win the group, and I think France will go on to win this group. And now the Dutch look very strong, very comfortable. It's going to be a tough game for England going into that, especially after this. This will really deflate them. This will be a tough one.
Well, it's customary for Sarina Wiegman to get all the players, all the squad, all the staff into a huddle, a circle really, after games, and they've done exactly that. They really shouldn't need it spelling out to them. And the amazing thing is, first 15-20 minutes, England were okay, played okay. France then settled, worked out what they needed to do, and boy did they do it. They were brilliant. And then the last 5 minutes at injury time, suddenly England woke up. And that urgency was nowhere near where it needed to be in the second half until Michelle Adjemang came on. He asked a great question in commentary. A teenager comes on and suddenly England are lifted. I mean, that shouldn't be the case. There's enough experience out there, enough quality out there for them to be playing way better than they did before Michelle Adjemang came on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on. I like to defend them because of what they've done so much. They've been so consistent in an England top. It was a bad day at the office, and you can't afford to have bad days at the office in international football at international tournaments. So look, none of them wanted to have this performance, but it isn't good enough, and something has to happen. Sarina themselves, they have to look at themselves, what went wrong, what went so badly wrong today, because they have to put it right against the Netherlands. If they don't, then it's going to be probably the biggest shock of the tournament. The holders out.
And listen, the European champions 3 years ago, and credit to them for that, loads of them are legends, including Sarina, whose record is brilliant at tournaments. However, Sarina's subs task, she's got to look at herself, because Sarina's subs won us the Euros 3 years ago. She left a key sub too late here tonight, and that's not hindsight. Russo didn't have a shot on target, she didn't have a shot at goal. So she was doing hard work up front. She was brilliant tonight, holding the ball up, winning free kicks, buying some time while France were putting us under pressure. She was exceptional, but she couldn't do anything in front of goal because there was no service, there was nothing. You've got two strikers, Beaver Jones and Adjemang, on the bench. Why are you leaving it so late to think about bringing one of them on? Should have brought two of them on much earlier. Very strange from Sarina Wiegman.
Yeah.
She's got to sharpen up.
No, she has. And I think it's hard as a manager when you have we talk about players having a playing style. A manager has a managerial style that's worked for her for so much. But now she has to be braver. You're absolutely right. Whatever she's done in the past worked for her then, but it didn't work today. And I think you have to play players that are in form. And I question the players that started today. I question the players that she brought on. Was it safe? Was it the players that have helped her in the past? But actually, are they the players that are going to help you now? And I think Beaver Jones to not even get on, I don't know what more she could do. Agyemang, put her on for longer. If she had got 15-20 minutes, what might have happened?
Tash, we're 2-0 down. We need goals, and there's two strikers who cannot wait to get on the grass, sitting there doing nothing. It makes no sense that they didn't come on sooner. And we saw with Agyemang, what a prospect she is, by the way.
Oh.
She had a terrific season. The goal in Belgium that she scored for England was truly world class. So it's not like it was a big risk bringing her on. You're 2 down, and you're bringing on someone who wasn't at all bothered about the pressure with England when she scored that goal in Belgium. I just cannot for the life of me understand why she left it so late. Two good strikers, they need more game time.
Yeah, no, you're spot on. And we talk about loyalty as well. I wish I'd had more loyalty maybe when I was an England player, and I love Serena's loyalty to certain players. But today I thought Stanway was really poor. I thought Walsh was really poor. I thought there were some big players, Lucy Bronze, but she's not going to take them off. And that's sometimes where I question whether she can be braver and whether she can trust the youngsters. And Agyemang has proved that she can trust those youngsters, so she needs to play them more in the second game.
It's big decisions you're talking about there, because these are winners. They've had incredible careers. I mean, Lucy Bronze, I thought it was one of her poorest England games today. I hate saying that because I love her as well. Beth Mead, she sets up the winner in the Champions League final for Arsenal with one of the best assists you'll ever see, and then she plays like that, can't even pass it to a teammate. I cannot understand it. Sometimes you play well, sometimes you don't. But these are big, big decisions Serena has got to make. So you're talking about the pressure on the players, and they've got to look at themselves. I think the manager has got to do exactly the same. They've got themselves to this pedestal now, these England players, and they've deserved it, and they're actually deserving everything that comes with it as well. But you've got to keep it up, and if you don't, you'll be scrutinised.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see actually how Serena approaches this and what she actually says about this game. I'd be really disappointed if she starts bringing in the VAR and the refereeing. Yes, it was the wrong call, absolutely, and who knows what would have happened if they had gone 1-0 up. Maybe they would have gone on to win the game, but that hasn't happened. So I really hope that she has an honest press conference after when she's talking to the media, and I'm intrigued to see what she has to say.
Well, Tash Dowie is staying on for the phone-in with Darren Ben and Jordan Nobbs, and that's coming next on Talksport, the full-time phone-in, 03717 223344. Courtney Sweetman-Kirk will bring you reaction from Serena Wiegmann and the England cap. Some thought it's coming home, but if England lose to the Dutch here on Wednesday, the European champions will be coming home.